Boom, we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me for tonight's WTF, we have our czar of source material, John, who's playing Apex.
Hell yeah, I'm playing Apex.
We have our poser extraordinaire, Natai.
Playing with my balls.
When aren't you playing with your balls?
Hmm.
We have our chivalry of Shota's Shotaro.
You're gonna have to stream that, or else it didn't happen anytime.
Yeah, right?
Let me turn on the cam.
No. And we also have a special guest with us today. Special guest, introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Burger. Literally on my birth certificate. I do voice acting and stuff like that. Podcast called Geeks in the City.
Earlier this year, myself and Sho were actually on an episode of your podcast. Was it back at the end of January?
Man, I can't remember.
This year's gone by quick.
Yesterday, I don't know. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. Also, more guy gave us a tier 1 subscription. Awesome.
No, thank you so much.
He also says, like, Natai has balls.
Fuck you too.
That's your friend, isn't it, Natai?
That's these are my friends. Yeah.
Thanks for the sub, by the way.
Thanks, dude.
But yeah, we're here to do a WTF, and we're just gonna talk about whatever the fuck we want. And while John plays Apex, I don't have the sound enabled. I think because John is sharing his screen and not the actual app itself. But anyway, I hope you enjoy him. Actually, I hope destroying everyone in Apex.
Pro players only.
Maybe he'll get to play with he'll get to play with Ollie.
We should start. I tell you what, we should start an esports team.
I am not Charlie. I do not know how to do this. I am not voice critical.
Sorry.
Anyway, so I guess I'll get started. Natai, do you want to do the music?
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's time for the Sim Report. So Burger, this is your first time here. So I don't know if you know this or not, but I love VTubers. I love VTubers a lot.
Do you love
Too
VTubers, or
much.
do you love simping?
Well, one and the same.
But two loves of my life. You're making me pick.
I know, right? So there's not a whole lot to announce in the Simp Report this month. As a lot of you know, I just moved and I don't have a lot of extra free money right now. But there is...
So he claims.
Allegedly. But there are...
The accounts have a different story to tell.
There are 2 people I have donated to in the last month. Those are Crazy Ali, speaking of Ali. So I'm up to $175 for her. And also I have recently, actually in the last couple of days, I have donated a few bucks to Usada Pekora. She's been doing a GTA 5 stream, and she's been at her war criminal best.
Has she been
The
fucking
laugh
the
is
hoes?
haunting me.
She has been she's been running over people a lot, and she seems to really enjoy that, which scares me a bit.
How much have you donated to Pekora?
So far, $175. So those are the only 2 I've actually donated to this month. I haven't gotten a chance to watch the new Hololive girls that much. I've only really watched their debut streams and a couple of clips from them.
How were the debut streams from what you've seen?
Great. I love the Australian rat.
Bales.
Yes. Who I always look at and I think, balls.
Not bad.
Fucking Hollow Rodents is too strong, bro.
But yeah, so that means my total for simping to Hololive members is now up to $1,227.
Damn.
Yeah. I don't like to use the word pay pig, but
Hey pig, what the fuck is that?
What's PayPig?
you clearly don't have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean,
What are you talking about?
dude,
Man,
OnlyFans. Have
I'm
you
not
heard
surprised
that
that's a
roller
sexual
coaster that
term.
they had in the past month?
Oh my god, that
That was so fun to watch.
I have such a love-hate relationship with OnlyFans.
I mean, do we want to talk about that?
I mean,
We can talk about that.
I'm just saying.
I mean, so I get it. Like, as a business owner, you want to have capital, right? Like, so you got to go to where the money is, and if the money
Wait.
says no porn, you got to have the no porn. But
So
at the
let's catch up everyone up to speed. So
Okay,
what
yeah.
exactly happened with OnlyFans in the past month? Do you wanna
Well, I mean, I can give you a brief
quick
version.
overview?
I
Yeah.
mean, so OnlyFans was a site that was started. It was started several. I know a lot of people think it was started during the pandemic. It wasn't.
No, it
It's
wasn't
been around
before
since
that.
like 2016, I think, 2015,
Yeah.
2016.
Been around
It,
for a minute.
it gained a lot of traction during the whole COVID pandemic, especially when it started, because a lot of people, particularly like women, were going on there and selling.
What, man?
We're selling like lewds of themselves to people to make money, because a lot of people got laid off, a lot of people had their hours cut during COVID. It made sense, and OnlyFans was always a place where that was like allowed. It was something you could do, and they made a lot of money on this, especially during the pandemic. They grew a ton. They had a huge user base, and then there's always been these rumors behind the scene that they were going to go public, and then they were going to get rid of all the porn. They were going to do like a Tumblr thing, and then just announce, give people very little notice that, hey, all the porn's going away. Fuck you. But then,
what
like,
is OnlyFans without the porn though?
that's
Exactly.
a great
Apparently-
question.
No, what do
That's
you
a
what do
great
you,
question.
what do you literally pay for then?
Apparently it was supposed to be like you can talk to like your favorite athletes or chefs and learn skills and stuff. Like it was supposed to
I
be
see.
like an exclusive for fans type of deal.
Let's be real. Without
That's what it was
the
originally
parents kind of-
intended as.
Yeah, that's what it was originally intended as. Although they never
This.
really. I don't think when it was like when they came up with it, I don't think they imagined it would be such a huge porn platform.
Bruh!
Nice job. But it kind of it evolved into that, and no one seemed to stop them. Natai has only
But yeah.
goats.
Oh my god.
Your
Not
friend is great.
this.
Can we get him like in the server, like just shitting on you constantly, please?
That even like that's what he does on a daily basis whenever we meet up. So like if you bring him on the podcast, I'll just be quiet for the entire
Yeah,
hour.
shit.
Oh no.
But anyway, so this past month they announced that they're gonna get rid of most of the porn because they're like, I don't know, felt they wanted to be more legitimate or whatever.
No, bullshit. They did that as a ploy, man. It was definitely
think
to
so?
try to generate hype. 100%. They were never gonna ban porn.
Do you think it was one of those like any publicity is good publicity kind of things?
100%.
Wait, that makes no sense. Because if people thought they were gonna get rid of the porn, they would leave.
would
So
they-
why would
they
they
would
fake
leave?
that? Yeah.
Because it's generating like everyone was talking shit like, oh my god, look at these girls earning like millionaire like girls on OnlyFans. They've got $1 million every month for touching themselves, blah blah
Uh-huh.
blah, and like there's this whole crusade against them by the conservative crowd and like good Christian women against porn, stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
They're already under fire for basically being a porn distributor, but they're not technically porn because technically OnlyFans you could have one without showing your butthole, but
Yeah, I mean, it's worth mentioning that you don't have to do porn on OnlyFans. Like, it can be anything as long as it's legal.
I've never heard of someone on OnlyFans that doesn't do porn. Never.
and I'm
They do-
telling you,
they
it's
do
not
exist.
supposed to be just for porn.
That I guarantee you, they do exist. You got to squint
Know
really
how I
hard
know?
to see
'Cause
them.
I have an OnlyFans show. That's how I
Oh
know.
my god.
You don't see me spreading my butt cheeks.
Yet.
And that's why you ain't getting money, girl.
Oh shit, you right.
But yeah, they did that whole announcement, and they said basically they gave like 1 month or so, roughly 1 month notice. And of course, everyone's freaking out when they did this. I know there's a lot of people that went and started a
But then-
Fansly account. I think is the new one that a lot of people went to.
Yeah, but then like last week they backtracked on that. They
It
like
was a
they
couple
said, yeah,
weeks
never
ago
mind, we're
now,
not-
but yeah.
Time is a concept I'm not aware of. Anyway, they just said, yeah, we're we're keeping the porn.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like, oops, our bad.
100% they were always gonna keep the porn, man. You think about how much money they're making off of just
I
like
don't know, dude. I don't know. There's so many stupid people in the world, and like I don't think it's too far off to think that for some reason they're like, oh, we want to be more legitimate, so we'll get rid of it, even though it's the stupidest decision they could make.
Yeah, I don't think that's a publicity stunt. That makes no sense for a publicity stunt, in my opinion.
I feel like they were pressured into doing it by one of their payment processors,
And
and
are they public? Have they went public?
no, they're not a public company. They're
Okay.
a privately. I mean, I'm sure they have investors, but they're not a publicly owned company.
Man, fuck only. I can't.
I
One of
like
my
how
friends-
I know you didn't hear it. I know you didn't hear it, but you cut out when you said OnlyFans. Like fuck only. That just it
I
makes
think
it
he's
funny.
only cutting out for you, Alex, because I heard the whole thing.
Oh.
Cut out for me as well.
Well,
Oh,
then
really?
it cut off for the stream too because they're
Damn.
hearing what I
Well,
hear.
the stream is you.
Mm.
Nah,
Wow.
one of my friends be on it, and like he was looking at something, and like I looked, I'm like, yo, dude, like that's my fucking aunt, man. Like, what are you, like, what are you doing?
What?
Listen, then he like turned it against me. He was like, maybe you should be asking what she's doing on here. And I'm like, Aunt Sheila, what you doing on OnlyFans? Like, oh man, I have such.
Honey, Aunt Sheila making a living on OnlyFans.
Mhm.
Well, Aunt Sheila, she's a strong,
Gotta
independent
get that
woman.
money.
Sheila
She ain't
shoulda
need
gave
no
me
man
some-
to give her.
She should have gave me some more damn birthday money, or at least came to my graduation when I got out of high school. Like,
That's some dirty money right there.
Yeah, dirty money.
Aunt Sheila's making it work.
Work,
Know what to
work,
say, girl.
work. Yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy situation. Like I don't have anything against people that want to do it, obviously, but
don't be my Aunt Sheila.
I mean, think about it. All the women you see on there is someone's daughter, someone's mother,
Money Sheila.
someone's
Slut
Aunt
shaming
Sheila.
for me.
Stop
It's the
talking
sex
about my
work
aunt.
shaming for me.
I mean, it don't bother me none. It just it's one of those things, and I mean, again, not to get too political about it, but a lot of the same people I saw going crazy about this are some of the same people who on Twitter or wherever never had any problem with people getting banned off of other platforms because they didn't agree with them. So,
Mm. Mm.
Mm.
It's a funny story.
it
to
I,
be honest.
I mean, I'm sure it's not funny to the people it affected, but
All right, let me.
as someone
okay,
looking from the sidelines, I would just back there like,
Exactly. Thank you.
let me watch
As
this
someone
shit show
on the
unfold.
side, yeah.
Big money Sheila. I love your friend. It's
Oh, dude, you'll have a lot of fun talking to him. He's just shit talking to me all the time.
girlfriend giving her boyfriend a PS5 with their OnlyFans money. Listen, I've heard of some people on OnlyFans making a shit ton of money over the last year and a half, and like enough that they could buy their own houses, they could buy their own like 2 or 3 cars, put their kids through college.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've heard stories
I
like
mean,
that.
great. I mean, honestly, good for them. Really,
Yeah, I mean, it's
why not? Good for them.
they're obviously
But-
exploiting a market that
Is it exploiting though? Like they're like they're like
That's-
selling a service. That's
They're-
totally
they're
legitimate.
This is
definitely-
the phrase. It's
they're
not
definitely
really-
exploiting a demand.
Okay.
There's obviously a demand for porn, and they're providing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like a win-win situation to me.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't know why people have an issue with that.
I don't either. Just don't come to the United States and want to do sex work, I guess.
What?
A lot of sex work is banned in the United States.
Oh, actually.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yeah.
and no.
It's an iffy. It's an iffy thing.
It's very. You can't explicitly be like advertising, "Hey, I'm gonna fuck you for $500," but you can advertise, "Hey, I can be your company for the night for $500,"
We can talk
and then
in big air
yeah.
quotes for $500.
Well, hold up
No.
now, John. All right, if you went to my high school, there was advertisement all around the school being like, "This
Nah.
person will
Oh,
fuck you for
wow.
$500." I went to
damn.
public school. Like, okay, it was rough.
Wait, so OnlyFans is allowed, but prostitution isn't.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
OnlyFans is a prostitution.
yeah.
Well, there's that old joke where it's like you hire a hooker, right? And the police come in to bust you for having a hooker. It's like, no. We're shooting a porno. You just whip out the contract. They can't do nothing to you.
have a couple of fake cameras around, or even real cameras. Just have them there. You don't even have to have them on. It's like, no, we're not having. No, it's not porn. It's not prostitution. We're shooting a porn.
I'd
Yeah.
love to understand the logic behind that, but
There is no
that's
law.
probably- Well,
The logic is that
there's a history why the laws were made like that, but maybe
yeah,
it's because porn is
White
so
man
new.
didn't like it. That's
So
it.
Just do it in a
Porn-
taxi and claim it's fake taxi.
Not that.
oh my god.
Oh my
God.
god.
Nah.
Anyway,
Maybe there's no old laws against porn because when the laws were made, there was no porn.
No, it's
There was
it's
always
definitely
porn.
because
shows porn's
mean,
been
you-
around forever.
no, I'm telling
Before
so-
computers.
Well, not on computers.
no, I mean no, prostitution is the oldest profession, right? We all know that.
Yeah.
But it's if you look at the origins of like why the Americans even exist, like why the pilgrims came to America in the first place.
Because of
Porn.
whores.
Whores.
I'm sorry,
No, it was
keep going.
because they didn't want to be religiously persecuted because they were like super crazy evangelical people like, oh, you gotta listen to the Bible like this, like you can't be doing this. Like they literally everyone was sick of them, and the Americans went to the Dutch, and the Dutch were like, all right, like we'll let you stay here, but you know, calm down on your little religious thing. They're like, no, fuck you, you Dutch, you're persecuting us. Let's go to America. Then everyone in Europe was like, all right, fuck it. Here's some money. Here's a boat. Get the fuck out of here. That is the history of America. That's a really like.
Can we have like a special episode every now and then of just John
Professor-
reenacting history?
Professor John.
Yes.
Professor John shittily reenacts history.
It's
John.
drunk history with John.
John Sensei.
Let's do history LARP.
Oh God.
No? Okay.
There was Morse code porn. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised to find out.
I'm just
Um,
picturing that.
So, can I talk about something kind of depressing for a second?
Oh
I
god,
we're-
please
sure.
do.
I swear I'll get
Wait.
back to happy stuff
Wait,
eventually.
there's something more depressing than the simp report?
Wow. Fuck you.
How did we get to OnlyFans from like whatever?
Because it's simping.
It's...
I mean, it is.
Pretty much.
Yo, this arenas match is fucked. It's 2 versus 1. I feel bad.
Oh, that's a shame.
Good luck, John.
But no, so I want to talk about something that I listen to. And John, you love music. I listen to a music project. It's actually 6 albums put together called Everywhere at the End of Time. So Everywhere at the End of Time is a music project that's 6 albums long, done by I think he's an English musician named Leland Kirby, under the moniker of a character he calls the Caretaker. And this entire project, which is divided, like I said, into 6 albums, is supposed to represent the 6 stages of dementia. So for this project, he went and sampled ballroom music from like the 20s, 30s, and early 40s. And throughout the course of this project, as you go through all the different albums, which represent the different stages, the music gets more and more distorted and fucked up, and it just, by the end of it, like by the 6th stage, it's mostly just noise. And it's, I want to say, if you want to, I highly recommend everyone go listen to the entire thing. It's kind of an emotional experience, especially for music that has no lyrics whatsoever.
How long is it if it's 6 albums?
6.5 hours.
Ooh.
For all 6 albums put together. And then like the last album is, I think it's only like 4 different pieces of quote unquote music. But it's like, it's an hour and a half long. And it's just basically noise, like white noise. But it does a really good job of, at least auditorially, representing what dementia is like for people that go through it. How it starts
How
out
did you
where,
come across this project, if I may ask?
from a YouTube recommendation.
Oh,
Wow.
The entire thing is on YouTube. The entire 6 album project for everyone to listen to. And it's just it's a great experience. I mean, you'll cry by the end of it. And the great thing is, of course, I feel like this is a spoiler, but it's music that doesn't have any lyrics. Like the last 60 seconds of it is just pure silence, and it's supposed to represent the patient dying.
Girl, do you think I have the emotional stability to listen to 6 hours of depressing music? Answer
Yes.
is no.
Yes.
What? Girl, you
Yeah.
overestimate me.
I don't know. I wanted to talk about it because it
I
was.
think that's valid.
I wanted to talk about it because it was a very emotional experience listening to it for me. I listened to the entire thing in one go. I know that a lot of people probably won't.
One go.
6 hours straight?
So yeah, I listened to the entire thing for 6.5 hours. I was doing other things. I wasn't just sitting here listening to it, but
You're supposed to get the emotional
I mean-
experience if you're doing other stuff. You gotta like just
well, I was reading.
oh
Reading.
look, dude, I'm married. I'm already depressed.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm like, I don't need. Like,
I feel like we talked about this before, haven't we?
This is the first time I'm hearing about
Yeah,
it.
I've
No.
never. No, I just listened to this album like last week. So
No, we literally have talked about this before. We have.
What are you
I
talking
swear.
about?
Yeah, I don't know if it was just me and you, Alex, talking about it on the Discord. I swear we've talked about this before.
I think in the last week or so I have talked to you about it. Yes,
Mm.
No, it was literally months ago. I'm going crazy, dude.
I
Oh,
know.
God.
I don't know how because
You
I hadn't
posted
even.
it. You definitely wait. Someone posted it in the Discord. Someone had to. I know I've talked about this before in the Discord
Oh,
channel.
someone else may have posted. I
What
just
was your
didn't pay
receipt?
attention. But
Where is your receipt, John? Did you call?
yeah, come on, John. Where are the receipts?
Listen, dude, I'm trying to win, be sweaty in this arenas game.
Not
Okay.
bad.
I don't know. Like just the thing
do you
about it
feel
is
like-
it's incredibly scary once you think about it because like dementia or Alzheimer's could happen to any of us.
Oh yeah.
And like you don't
Okay.
realize it until it's far too late to really do anything about it. I mean, you can't do anything about it anyway. There's no cure for dementia or Alzheimer's. But I mean, by the time you realize what's going on, most of your memories are gone anyway.
yeah, my wife,
It's good.
father has a father.
Does he have dementia or Alzheimer's?
He has dementia.
Ah,
Oh
Pretty.
yeah. The scariest thing about it is how you sort of lose yourself as a person. Like
you
my
lose your
grandfather as
identity.
well.
You don't
Yeah,
know what's
pretty
going on.
much. Exactly. Like you're trying to communicate with the person. It's like they're not aware of like what's going on around them. Like they're sort of like surprised every now. It's like, how? What's this? What's that? And like you're communicating with them, and you realize that they're not really there.
Yeah,
Like they might be replying to you and speaking to you, but they're like in a completely different place.
yeah.
And it's probably the most terrifying thing that
It is.
I know of.
It would probably be the most terrifying way to die. At least I think so, because there's always been that question that I've been asked, like, how would you rather die if you had a choice? Would you rather die by your mind giving out or your body giving out? I have to say, I'd rather do it with my body giving out, because at least then I still have my sense of identity. I know who I am.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen people
you-
in my family die both ways. I've seen people succumb to Alzheimer's and dementia. I've seen people who have the sharpest minds into their 90s and early 100s that their bodies fall apart.
Do you find yourself like sort of every now and then seeking out this type of media that's like super emotional and heavy and sort of makes you feel these feelings?
As I've gotten older, yes.
Mm.
Not I wouldn't have done this when I was younger, no. But shoot, ever since I've turned 30, yeah.
Because it's like I know, like every now and then we talk about like whether it's about an album or even anime, like oh yeah, this album will make you cry and such and such. I know that ever since like watching certain shows that was really emotional.
Violet
I
Evergarden.
like yeah, for example, that's a great example. Like I'll keep on searching for these types of shows
Mm,
that I really connect to on an emotional level.
yeah.
And same for music and movies.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting.
For sure. I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up because I definitely think if you got some time and you want a really good, emotional experience listening to some music, Everywhere at the End of Time, it's a hell of a ride. It'll probably make you cry by the end.
Man, y'all fucking me up, man. I got a children's book to record right after this. I'm going there all,
Oh my
I'm going there all sad. What's wrong, man? Read it with some emotion. It's
And
like,
then the evil king died of dementia.
it's like,
Not that.
Yikes.
But I do want to bring it around to something a little more. Oh, it's like, yeah, in high school during cooking class, we did a unit where we were disabled, like deaf, restrictive. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard about that where there's some classes in high school that people will take where they like take away one of your senses, whether it's your hearing, your sight, your ability to move, and you have to try and accomplish like basic tasks. And it's an attempt to show you how difficult it is living with certain disabilities. I've heard of that happening in certain schools. But anyway, back onto something a little more positive. Well, for some people, perhaps. One of my favorite games of all time recently got announced that it's being remade. Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
Hell yeah.
Fucking could not
Hell
be
yeah.
happier. And I saw.
Hell yeah.
Listen, Burger. When I saw the Aspire logo, I knew some shit was up.
Man,
who's
I was
Aspire?
hyped as fuck about man. Oh, damn. All my friends are still making fun of me. They're like, ha ha, they coming to Xbox. I'm like, fuck off.
But
Going to PC.
but it is. See, so it's a timed exclusive.
See, they be killing people.
Yeah, they recently announced, I think like 3 days ago, that it was actually going to be a timed exclusive. So it'll probably be it's a console timed exclusive. So that means it's going to release, I think, from the outset on PS5 and PC. But then for the console, I think it's going to come to at least Xbox. I think a year after the PC or the PS5 version. I don't know for a fact. Don't quote me on that. But that's the typical thing for console timed exclusives, where it's usually a year after the fact is when it releases on other consoles.
And Knights of
So
Old Republic,
BioWare,
such a amazing, neat game. You talk about a person I can't remember nothing.
Yeah.
so BioWare isn't involved in this remake, right?
From what I understand, no. Although I know a lot of the voice actors are coming back to reprise their roles.
That's good.
And to be clear, this is not a remaster. This is a complete remake and a brand new game engine.
I haven't played the original, but it seemed like the gameplay itself, like the combat and stuff, is a bit like dated.
It is dated
So
now. I
whether-
mean, it's a very D&D based combat system.
D&D.
That perked them up, didn't it?
Just almost like D&D.
This is almost a D&D. Give me that D&D. I'll give you your D&D right here, boy.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
But yeah, it was very heavily influenced by D&D. I mean, as almost all the BioWare games were back then. I couldn't be happier. It's one of my favorite. In my mind, it is the best Star Wars game ever made. And its
Is it
sequel.
Toy
Its sequel
Story?
too. So the thing that made me the happiest about hearing this news is that this gives me immense hope that if this does well, which I think it will, that we will get a remake of Knights of the Old Republic 2 and finally have a finished version of that game.
That game was never finished.
It was released unfinished. Okay, so this is a thing like with Fallout New Vegas. BioWare kind of plopped the second version or the second Knights of the Old Republic game onto Obsidian, and then gave them an absurdly short development window. And so, like, I think they made the game in like a year and a half. If
Man,
that.
Obsidian, sure. What the fuck happened with them?
I don't know. People just like to just throw shit on them and it's like you got 12 months, go.
I mean, to their credit, they do great stuff with that short amount of time, but still. God.
Two of my favorite games of all time were made by Obsidian with insane time crunches: Fallout New Vegas and Knights of the Old Republic 2.
Yeah.
But no, the thing I love about Knights of the Old Republic 2 is its writing. Like the writing in that is, especially the dialogue, is so fucking good. And the character of Kreia is one of my favorite Star Wars characters ever. I love her so much. Especially like she has that.
Yeah, that's good.
She has that monologue like halfway through the game about the nature of like altruism and how like altruism can actually be very damaging to you in the long run. Not just to you, it's the people you actually help. And it's like she's kind of right. She's kind of right.
Obsidian were always sort of spot on with like really, really intricate and complex writing. Like in New Vegas and the little like you showed me what you showed me from KOTOR 2. And even shit like Alpha Protocol, which was a really weird game they made, but with really awesome dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Obsidian
great.
Obsidian is really good at writing very complex characters. I don't know what makes them so good at it, but they always have been. I really wish they would just. I know they're a bit of a smaller studio. Of course, now they're owned by Microsoft.
That's right.
But I just wish they would buy a bunch of IPs from people and start making good games for IPs that I used to love. God, I'd love to see an Obsidian's take on something like Halo, just like from a narrative perspective.
Wait, that's illegal.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool.
Even though there's some, I know there are a lot of people are bringing up red flags because the one of the head writers that's attached with the KOTOR remake is like a raging SJW.
Oh, great.
I all I want is a new engine, updated graphics, fine. Re-record the dialogue. Although for some of the characters you're gonna have to recast because at least 2 of them that I know of have died since the game came out. One of them very recently, Ed Asner, who was the voice of Master Vrook in both of the KOTOR games, died very recently, so you'd have to recast him. And then the guy who voiced Canderous in the first 2 games, or in the 2 games, also died, I think 3 or 4 years ago.
Wait, how long ago did KOTOR came out?
2003.
Oh my god.
I was 13 years old.
God. I was 6.
Not this. Not this.
I always forget how young Natai is. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Obsidian with
What are you talking about?
Obsidian with KOTOR 2 and
I'm a
Fallout
big
New
boy.
Vegas. We built it in a cave with a box of scrap. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That is how Obsidian makes games.
Good reference.
Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I'm super hyped about that. And then the last thing I want to do, and this will be funny too. So I recently came across an obituary that was written by an AI, and I want to read it to you guys because I find it incredibly funny. Although there's nothing funny about people dying. Oh, well, sometimes there is. I mean, the fact that Hitler killed himself is kind of funny.
Oh my god.
I hate it here. I hate it.
I know.
Yeah.
One of my favorite jokes of all time is a joke. I think it's Jimmy Carr told a joke that people give Hitler a lot of flack, but we all forget that he is the person who killed Hitler.
They killed him. Oh my god.
I love that joke so much.
So dumb.
Anyway, I came across this obituary, and I want to read it. So it also is worth mentioning that the way they did this, a person didn't actually die for them to write this. They came up with a life story for someone, and they fed it to a computer and asked it to write an obituary. So this is what it came up with. I'm going to try and get
Sure.
through this without cracking up. Brenda Tent retired from living at the age of old. Surrounded by family and natural causes, a librarian from birth, Brenda was an avid collector of dust. She had a sweetheart and married her high school.
You've already failed.
She loved having hobbies and helping her sons to be disadvantaged youths.
Jesus.
She had no horses, but thought she did. The church gave her a choir because she sang like Bird and looked like Bird, and Brenda was a bird. She owed us many poems. The funeral will be held in 1977 at Heaven. In lieu of flowers, send Brenda more life.
Oh my god.
That's great.
I
I
love it.
mean, we
We're
love AI.
Dementia.
This is Speaking of dementia, I came across this obituary and I laughed so hard when I first read it. It's just,
Man,
Wow.
you walk some strange corners of the internet where you come across this
I
obituary,
do.
dude.
Yeah, how? Like what? How were you even there? Like what situation?
I found
Could you be
this. I found this on a forum that I read sometimes for people who work with AI. And like sometimes they post like their projects and stuff on there, and this is something that someone did over the course of, like 3 hours. He came up with essentially like a very rudimentary AI that you could feed a life story into, and it would pop out an obituary. And like this was like the alpha version.
The moment AI will take control over all of us, they will just play on screen. They'll like do this propaganda type of shit. They play on screen all these videos of Boston Dynamics just kicking robots all over the place.
Yeah. I mean that's the fucking plot of the Deus Ex remakes. That's literally the entire plot. Like AI takes over the news and starts spinning it
It's
constantly.
gonna be so bad.
Detroit human.
Yeah. Detroit Become Human. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got to talk about for this WTF. So, John, what do you want to talk about?
All right. First of all, I've been playing Apex this entire time. We barely won that 2v1. It was so sad. This guy was so fucking good. Holy
man.
shit.
Alexa, play Unravel.
Oh shit! Oh man.
Hold on, Ina, play Unravel.
All right. Now that it's my turn and I need to actually focus because it's been a while since I've got to actually just like sit down and play video games. At my work, I have to work like 26 days straight without having a day off. It's kind of rough. I'm on week 2, so this is like day 22 right now.
Damn.
I've got like no, not even just 22. It's like day 18. I've got another 7 to go.
Dawn of the final
So-
day. 24 hours remain.
Yeah. Just want to talk about work-life balance. We talked about this before, didn't we, Natai? Work-life balance. Like,
Yeah, it's rough, dude.
I work on what we consider third shift. It's a graveyard shift. I only work like 6.5 hours, right? Which isn't a whole lot, thankfully. But holy shit, working every single day, I hate it. I hate it so much. I don't have a day where I can actually just like sleep in, wake up when I want to wake up. I've been on a schedule and I just
It's fucking rough.
it
What were
is
you
fucking
on, buddy?
rough.
I
Fucking go
I knew
ahead.
I knew a girl, literally her whole life, job, you gotta do this. She would work literally every day. And she bought a house. She had the money to. She was like, yo, I barely know, like, because she was like, I would go there to sleep, wake up, and every day. And people get stuck in that cycle of
Yeah.
just rinse and repeat.
It's fucking rough, man. Like humans are not meant to be working a 9 to 5 for what 40, 50 years. God, it is not.
Yeah.
It's not something that I want to do. So I'm going to school.
It's
But-
a question of like, are you working for a living or living to work? It's like,
That's
It's
another-
hard.
It's bonkers. Like, because I'm working in a factory right now. I've worked in factories ever since I got out of high school, and I used to think like factory living is not too bad. Like once you get used to it, you're like, fuck it. It's rough work here and there, but it's work and it pays well, and you know, middle American and whatnot, or middle class American and whatnot. But fuck, man, I don't know how people can like. At my company, there's people who've worked there for 30 plus years, and they still show up every day.
holy shit.
And I'm just like,
Some people
Bro, you're
take to
paying-
it, though. Some people really enjoy it.
I
Like the
don't.
routine?
Yeah, I mean,
So
some
is it
people really
really?
like. Some people really like just having a job where you go to it, you do the job, you don't have to think too hard about it, and then you go home.
I get
Yeah.
that.
You
But-
give them some type of feeling because they feel like they're something. Man, look, I worked at Amazon approximately 6 minutes. I went right back in the car. All right.
Wow.
I got hired. Because me and my buddy, like, yo, get here. We hired at Amazon. Literally within 6 minutes, I was like, all right, I'm out. He was like, where you going?
Me.
Quit.
Quit.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
like-
out.
Not.
How you gonna quit? You just got it here. Don't worry about it. Y'all never gonna see me again.
just
I'm
that
out my car.
just that SpongeBob meme. I'm gonna head out.
Hey, yo, and I just went
And I'm
to
heading
sleep in-
out.
and I went to sleep in the car. It's my boy drove us there. We woke up extra early in the morning. Dude, it's like modern day slavery. Like, I'm like, hell nah, man. I'm not doing that. Because literally, it's so like all those Amazon commercials where they be smiling, they be like, yo, it pays great. Yo, it's a bunch of
No,
bull.
that's bull.
It's a bunch
like,
of
Just
First
check
of all-
check the blinking. Maybe they're giving you a message in their blinks.
Oh, no,
I am
no.
trapped here. Send food.
So here in Washington, they at the gas pumps they have like advertisements now for jobs and stuff. And one of them I see all the time is Amazon. Amazon warehouse worker. They'll start you at 15 an hour, 16 an hour, and there's like $1,000 sign-on bonus. And I'm like, wow, that sounds like ass. If you have to pay me $1,000 to even fucking apply here, I don't think I want to work
Wow.
here.
Yeah.
yo, you have the best thinking ever. That is exactly right. It's like when I walk by, like sometimes I see companies, they'll be like, "You sign up today, we'll give you a free iPhone." It's like, what? Y'all giving out free shit just to
Now, what does that
Sometimes-
mean? If you have to bribe me to work here, what does that mean about the actual job?
Yeah, it's pretty like I don't know how people do this, man. And I work at Boeing, and everyone talks about how good Boeing retirement is and stuff like that. And it was true at a certain time when they had a pension, back in the day, like before. I think they got rid of it in 2011 or 2014. So it's been a while since they've had it, but like that makes sense. If you had a pension where it's gonna pay you like fucking $2,000 a month after you retire at the age of 67, on top of you got Social Security, you got a 401k, you got your Roth IRA, like
do
paying
that
you out.
anymore?
Yeah.
No, they don't fucking. They negotiated that away for like a $10,000 bonus.
Whoa,
This might
really?
shock you, Natai, but here in the United States, there are very few companies that actually give out pensions anymore.
Hell
Yeah, it's
How do
like
things work over there for you guys then? What?
It's held together with duct tape
Barely.
and string over here.
it barely works.
Fuck.
trying to get into a union, man. Like,
Yeah, like as much as people hate unions, as much as I hate my own union, because it feels like they don't do jack shit for you. They do. They have fought tooth and nail for every single accommodation I've ever had, and working at Boeing is pretty fucking cushy. Like comparatively working outside. Now, this is the first union job, only union job I've ever had, so I don't know if other unions are a lot better. They probably could be. They probably are. I don't know. Everyone at work seems to complain about the union a lot and say there are better unions out there. Like working for the Port of Seattle is a better union.
it
I'm
depends.
like,
It really depends on the union.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
places
Natai,
are really good.
government jobs still have pensions mostly here in the United States, but not most private jobs, most private employers have gotten rid of the pensions.
What? Okay. Fuck.
Yes.
Rough.
Yes.
homie.
it's rough.
You know, a big part of the reason why they did that, it's not the only reason, but I know one of the big reasons, especially recently, that more and more companies are starting to get rid of it is because the insurance has been tied to employment.
What do you mean?
Like our medical insurance here in the United States is largely tied to employment. So a lot of
Yeah.
employers, if you have a full-time job with most employers, and I think, well, here in Florida, I know it's the law. If you're a full-time employee, the employer has to offer you medical insurance.
Insurance.
Cool.
Gotcha.
But for full-time employees, you most likely get your insurance through your place of employment. And if you don't, if you go outside that, it's incredibly expensive to do it like independently.
have you paid your Cobra
That sounds
premiums
terrible.
today?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That sounds terrible. Not gonna lie.
I'm in New Jersey, and not a lot of places offer, even if you work full time, health benefits. The first job I ever got health benefits, I worked at a patient. It was the first time I was like, y'all gonna give me health? Because y'all just gonna give me health care? Because I wear glasses, and like, man, them shits are expensive. Like, if you don't got no type of coverage or anything like that, man, be somewhere and it's like, yo, you're full time. We're gonna give you insurance. We're gonna help you out. That's a pretty big thing, because everywhere I've ever worked, as long as I've been working, I've worked for very long. Voice acting, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. Everything been like out of pocket.
Rough, dude.
That's rough. Yeah.
And yes, for anyone watching this stream, yes, I am trying to fix his audio because I know he's cutting out a lot for you guys.
Oh, damn, word, man.
I dropped the bitrate down for the voice chat, so hopefully that does help. But yeah, I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I had any kind of solution to it, but
I mean, I have extreme solutions.
Oh,
just
God.
burn it all down with a
Again,
fucking
yeah.
flamethrower.
I mean, essentially, yes.
Burn it all down.
Just fucking burn it all down, dude. Enough of it. Tired of fucking wage slaving away.
See, people always tell me their horror stories with Amazon. I worked for Amazon for like 7-ish months. And I'm one of like only 2 people I've ever talked to that had a positive experience working for Amazon. I
You have
do
a
think
positive experience.
I did not, to my credit, I did not work in a warehouse. I actually worked in a fulfillment center, which is different. So we got stuff that had already been boxed up and sent to us from the warehouse. All we did was we sorted it for like pickup for the U.S. Postal Service, FedEx, UPS. We got it to where it was going, basically. Also, the facility, the particular facility that I worked at, we had really good managers who actually gave a shit about us. So like if they saw
Must
that
be
we were
nice.
having issues on the floor, they would actually tell us to go, sit in the break room, take a break, and then they would go out on the floor and help us with our jobs.
Well, that's another thing. I've only always ever had like shitty managers stuff.
I mean, it makes a difference.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a big difference. It's like it sounds stupid, but a good manager is such a blessing. It's such a good thing. It's like
And it's like
insane.
the job that I have now, like I talk about it and people say, God, it sounds horrible. Because the job I have now, I work overnight. So I work 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Which, yes, that's 12 hours, but it's 4 days on, 4 days off. So I have 4
Yeah.
days off every single week. Granted, it's an 8-day rotation, so I don't work the same days every week, so it makes it kind of difficult to schedule podcasts sometimes. But I like my job because it affords me a great deal of freedom to pursue hobbies like this, or like video games, or anime, or whatever.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah.
And I also don't work for a corporation. I work for a family-run company.
See,
Hey.
Alex is cheating. He's got connections, man.
I did. I got my job purely through nepotism because my uncle got me the interview.
Dude, don't
Hey.
announce
Yeah,
loud. Like,
I don't know.
This is
You
real-
found the correct form to announce that, I guess.
this some real bullshit, man. Your uncle out here getting your job, and aunt out here twerking on OnlyFans.
clapping them booty cheeks.
But-
Please
Clap them
donate to my
cheeks.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, please donate to our OnlyFans. we'll show pole dancing if you
No
donate to our
thanks.
OnlyFans.
We should create an OnlyFans
Whose
for
pole
fun.
am I dancing on?
I don't. We'll find out. You have to donate
you
to
got the
find
money.
out.
Oh my god.
But John, what John said is important. You got to have work-life balance, or else you're gonna be super depressed. You're gonna be, it's not gonna be good for you.
So I was about to ask John, like, how do you do it?
Barely. I barely hold on.
Duct tape
Like,
and
I'm
string.
taking notes.
Duct tape and
I'm
string.
taking notes, dude.
It's very unhealthy what I'm doing, and it's sacrificing sleep. Like, fuck, today, you know how much sleep I got today before I started recording this?
2 hours.
How did you know? Wait, did my girlfriend fucking tell you?
Oh, God.
Did you snitch on me?
This is your girlfriend.
Yeah, because like I got home and I'm like, all right, cool. I've got like 6.5 hours before I got to wake up for the recording, do the podcast stuff. I'll go to sleep. And I was like, man, you know what I haven't done in a while? Played Apex, read some manga, play some Genshin. I was like, oh man. And this shit you cannot be doing forever. Like that's another
Yeah.
thing. Like you cannot be sacrificing your health to. This is rough. This is weird because it's like I'm saying this and I know better, but I'm still like, fuck it, I don't care. Like,
Nah,
I need to play games. I need to read manga. Like, bro,
You want to do things that make you feel good. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
that's totally.
it's like you
that's
gotta
totally
heal
legit.
the soul, man. Like,
Yeah,
Mm.
it's for the soul, definitely.
Gamer's heart. Bro.
Yeah. I
I definitely
I'm
don't
with you on that,
understand
yeah.
like people who like coming into work, like look forward to a fucking 9 to 5 grind. I can't do
No,
it, man.
no.
Like, as always, like I've always just like I just want to work when I want to work and work for myself. Don't have to fucking have no managers, no bosses, because like I've had a couple of good managers in my life, and I'm very thankful for the opportunities that I've gotten through them and how much I've grown. Like I became a supervisor, got a lot of hands-on experience, like training to try to be a manager and stuff like that. So I understand like the inner workings of office politics and just basically management side stuff. And it's, dude, you would think that getting a cushy manager position, white collar job where you sit in the desk is the easiest thing in the world. It is not. It fucking depends. Like you could have, if you have a really good team who's always good on their delivery dates for their projects, they're clear and concise, there's no hiccups and stuff like that. Oh yeah, it's easy, dude. But you still, like, when you're in middle management, you still got a boss. You still got someone you need to answer to, who has someone he needs to answer to, who has someone he needs to answer to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like watching this fucking cycle of people throwing their life away and like fucking shaving, literally watching them de-age as they work under middle management. It turned me off to the whole thing. I said, fuck it, I'm not doing this no more. I'm gonna just do a regular ass worker job at a fucking factory, fucking get my shit together, go to school, fucking make video games, and that's it. That's all. I'll release games, and that's all I'll do.
I'm gonna be real with you,
Okay.
man. I completely agree with you. Cause I used to work at the bank, and I grew up project.
Mhm.
When I got hired at the bank, it was the most money, ridiculous amounts. It was the first job that my family was, oh my God, you're something now. And I was like, but, and dude, it was the worst experience. And it took
Oh,
me
shit.
it took me passing out at work, like literally.
Jesus.
We was in a business where we was. I think we was. It wasn't. We went far out, somewhere I've never been before.
Was it
And-
passing out from overwork? What happened?
Dude, I can't necessarily. I don't even really know what it was, but I was over stressing the fuck out of because banking is like retail, but with no excuse, right? With retail, it's always that idea. Well, maybe they don't want this, not they don't want that. Banking has no excuses because everyone needs money, everyone needs banking, so you can't. And they are on your ass about, hey, how many accounts did you open up, and like it affects your career. And because they throw you all this money, it's like, oh damn, I really got to step up. So I was so miserable like doing it. I literally passed out, woke up in the hospital, had no idea where I was, didn't know how to get home, and I had to I call my bank manager, and I was like, I can't be here no more. And I realized from that day forward, no matter how much money you make, yo, if you're unhappy, like completely unhappy, that shit plays a big role everything you've done.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like now and stuff like that, like, you know, like John said, sometimes you got to start your own business. What I did, I learned how to video edit, and like I learned a bunch of other skills. Like I learned photography. So like now I freelance, go around the city and I take pictures, record events, and that's what's really getting me through. And you know, my wife has been really, she's like, yo, you want to do voice acting? I'll hold us down. I'll make sure you won't starve. You can pursue this 100%.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yo, fine. Don't ever work somewhere if you like. It may seem like the answer. Like, I want you to think about it. When it comes to like more rich people commit suicide, anyone who's ever been less unfortunate. And that's just if you look at the charts of like people who have money and things like that, it really doesn't much. Like I thought I would have a better understanding of it because it's something I didn't have like in my life, just living. But man, you're stressed and you're tired and stuff like that, and you're like literally, like if you're sitting down and you're like looking at the time, like when do I get off, or you're literally regret going into work that you got to get out.
Yeah, I think if
agreed.
you go into work and you feel like dying every day, it's not the place you need to
Something's
be.
wrong. Yeah.
You know, I've had plenty of jobs where every time I had to convince myself to get out of bed and fucking like make it into work because I was like, all right, I need to make money.
I mean, you know, that's a little different. I'm saying like if you're crying before you go into a shift,
Yeah.
like and there are people who do that, sit down and they're like an emotional wreck and stuff like that, and they have to will themselves on. I'm not talking about from the stayed up to 4 a.m. playing Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's on you at that point.
Yeah, you know that you know you
Been there.
that's your fault. Like, but
Well,
Hey,
no, for Natai, it's like, God, I stayed up until 2 a.m. recording a fucking podcast with these American bitches.
Good times.
damn, I feel so bad for you, man.
I just
Nah,
imagine Ty
nah,
crying
it's
before
fine.
every podcast.
I feel so
Being like,
bad.
why am I here?
Dude, there were times, there were nights where I'd go to sleep at like 11, wake up at 3 a.m. just to record, and then at like 6 a.m. go back to sleep for
Oh
a
my
few
god.
hours.
It's the dedication
Yeah.
for me.
I can't fucking do this, man. Ugh.
What, Apex or just life?
just life, man. Working so much.
I was like, I've kind of been watching. Is like you
Just
seem to be
life in
doing pretty
general.
decently at this game. So,
Just
I'm
life
telling you, we
in
should open
general.
up an esport team for Apex.
oh god.
John, I'm gonna hit you up after, man. I got some ideas. We're gonna make a
Hey, I have a
Oh.
question for you, Burger. Do you know anything about audio editing?
yeah.
Not this.
Yeah.
Not
God.
Is this a
But-
sponsorship coming in?
but to fix this before you even go anywhere, I was smart enough to make my best friend do it. engineering because he went to school for.
See, that's what we do for
I
John.
it literally fucking
I
just
know,
fell
that's why-
onto my lap, and
That's
now
why I
I'm just
feel bad
fucking-
for you, dude, because I'm the same person doing it to my team. I'm like, yo, dog, he'll get all this done, and I do interviews every week. I'm like,
I'm be honest though, it's actually not too rough, and it's like, because when you work on something that you like doing, it's still work, but it's not that bad. Like it's
do
not
you like
as
working
rough.
with audio?
I like working on a podcast. I
tell
like
you
talking
what,
about
man.
anime.
I tell you what, man, I got some contacts.
Oh
Oh,
shit.
shit.
Oh shit.
Oh,
He
shit.
got
Oh,
numbers. He got numbers. He's giving you numbers, man.
I'm gonna give you some contacts, man. I want you to contact. They work for iHeartMedia.
Oh
Hey.
shit.
Do
We're gonna make it big.
podcast.
Oh
Like-
shit.
We're gonna get
And I'm
Mama
telling
Rihanna
you,
on our
bro,
podcast.
they-
That's
they
the goal.
They pay 50. They pay a lot for it, and it's. I got you. Just remind me.
All right. All right.
Oh, a boy.
Boy.
Alex gonna be like, you fucking took my engineer.
Audio engineer.
Oh my god.
Nah, see, the problem though is like I don't want to do this as a job. Like I do it as a side hustle. Sure, make money on the. Oh God, you know what? That I also hate that hustler mentality. Where
We
it's like,
talked about
man,
that
you
the
gotta be
last
hustling.
WTF.
God, like,
All right,
no,
we did.
I don't. Like I like doing it for the podcast right now, just because it's to me it's fun. It's fun that every week we get together, we talk about stuff we want to talk about. I've made some great friends. Like I've never, like I've said before, I've never had people I could talk to about watching anime. Like that shit that when I grew up, where I
for
was,
nerds.
yeah, I was like nursery. You get picked on for that. You don't fucking like, oh, you like watching anime?
I'm salty as fuck being a teacher in school because girls talk about it now. I'm like, where the fuck are y'all?
Yeah, I know. It's so different. Anime is so mainstream. now,
I
they
see
don't even
no,
fucking
I see
care.
girls now walking around with like Superman and
shirts
Batman
and
shirts and like
My
where
Hero
the
Academia Fear. I'm
where
like,
the fuck were all of you when I was in school?
oh, we were there. We was in the library. Bullshit. I was in there too.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, bullshit. I was there. I was there. I see you. I see you.
I was crying alone in the corner.
All right. So enough about that because holy shit. I can complain about corporate America forever. I hate fucking working. I hate working for people. That's really the biggest thing. I don't like working for.
I didn't want to get together with you guys. We bitch about corporate America, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Wow.
because it's like we were sold on this fucking pipe dream, right? Especially here in the West, we were sold that if you worked hard, you worked at a fucking factory like a Boeing, you know, building airplanes and shit. You worked hard, you would be able to afford a house, a fucking nuclear family. Like that's bullshit. You can't afford none of that right now.
Shit, I was told I don't because I'm older than everybody else here. I think I was told growing up that you go to school, don't have a child before you get married. Get your high school diploma.
Don't have a child period.
Well, yeah, no, we were just told don't have a child until you get married. But and then get your high school diploma, go to college, get a degree in anything. It don't matter. Just get a bachelor's degree in anything. And you'll be set for life. You'll never have to worry about having a job. You'll never have to worry about having enough money. You'll make enough money to where you can own a house, a car. It may not be the best in the world, but you'll be able to own all that shit. I did all of that. I don't own a goddamn thing.
Correction. You do. You owe college debt. So.
No,
shit.
no, I don't
See-
because I have no student loans.
Oh, word.
Ooh.
Oh,
See, every time I hear like a story about a student loan, I'm like, fuck, how you guys even like feel incentive, like have any incentive to go study if that's the shit you need to go through for that?
See, I was lucky because here in Florida we have a thing called the prepaid college program, and it's essentially like when you turn like 4 or 5 years old, your parents can put in it's essentially an account that they pay into every month, and then the state of Florida puts it into a money market, and it grows and grows and grows. And typically by the time you start, either you're in your last year of middle school or your first year of high school, your college is paid for 4 years.
That's awesome. I don't know why more like states in the U.S. adopt that.
Yeah, what the
'Cause
fuck?
that's a really
I
good
didn't
idea.
have. I didn't get that at all. Like,
And
huh?
the way that my parents did it, by the time I was in middle school, it had already been paid for.
Yo, can we trade? Like,
yeah, like what the fuck?
Well, let me tell you something. It didn't help not one bit because I did all that, and then I still rent an apartment. I still lease a car.
yeah, but
Okay,
you know,
yeah,
I do that
but-
shit too. But like, you had good parents. Like, can I trade? Like,
I'm sorry, they're being used right now.
yo, come
Oh
on, man.
dear.
You had
Oh
them for
wow.
like over
Why
25
you have to
years.
say it
Give
like that?
give
Yeah,
them
I
to someone
know.
else. Like,
They're being used
But
right now.
my
Fucking
point,
parrot
my
swap.
point is, I was sold this bill of goods that never came due. Like, then just recently, the whole reason I had to move was because like they raised the rent at the apartment I was staying at, so I had to move to a completely new city on the other side of the state. I mean, thankfully, my job is mostly work from home, so
I was about to say, isn't Florida like everything you can drive within 2 hours and you get to?
yeah, pretty much anywhere in Florida, if you drive for an hour and a half, you hit water. Just pick a direction and drive to it, you'll hit water within an hour and a half.
See, this is some bullshit because I live in Washington. If I drive 2 hours, I can get maybe to the other fucking Boeing plant. Okay.
Well, the thing
Some
is, like,
bullshit.
if you start in Key West, Florida, right, and you drive for 12 hours, you're still going to be in Florida.
Okay, that
And
makes
if I
sense.
drive-
But here's the thing: if I drive for 14 hours, literally in left to right, from Seattle, I want to go all the way to the fucking Idaho. Take me about just as long.
I don't know why you want to go to Idaho for potatoes. You need some potatoes, man?
They got cheap cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
Man, if I drive for 2 hours, I reach the edge of the country.
Yo,
Not bad.
Yeah, you live in a postage stamp.
fuck, fucking hate work. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So-
Baz, what else do you want to talk about, John? How else do you want to depress us?
Girl, it's the 4-hour
Aw,
podcast for me.
I know, for real. Because we're just. This is what I like about WTF. We just riff, like we just complain, fucking play games, do whatever, But no, so I stream a lot of stuff. I binge a lot of stuff, I should say. Like that Netflix model of fucking watch one show, sit there for 4 hours. I love that. I throw on something when I'm editing. I throw something on when I'm fucking playing games. It's weird. I've like conditioned myself to always have something happening while I'm playing games, and if I don't, it feels weird. Like right now,
do that?
I don't know. I got ADHD. I can focus. I really don't know. But so, I am rewatching Community. If you guys don't know, Community is a show by Dan Harmon, one of the guys that helped create Rick and Morty.
AKA
And
the
one of
best
his-
show.
Season 5. I'm not gonna get into that, but so I'm rewatching it, and it was so obvious that this show it was only supposed to be it got canceled after 3 seasons, and
That's right.
they wrapped it up pretty nice after season 3. Like, sure, there were some loose ends, but everything kind of just naturally ended, and I liked it. I really liked the season 3 like soft ending. And I don't know how much time passed between season 3 and season 4, but I do know that season 4 and 5, it was picked up by like I think Netflix or Hulu or something to revive
It was
the show.
Yahoo of all things, actually. That
Yahoo.
It was
picked it up, I think.
Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yahoo.
Oh my
Yahoo.
god,
Let me look
dude.
it up. I think it was. Hold on.
Yahoo.
Let me check
I
it.
haven't heard that name in years.
Yeah. Fucking Yahoo still exists. There's no way. But so I'm rewatching it, and I hate it. I hate season 4 and 5. Like, they first of all, Donald, yeah,
Donald
Danny.
Glover?
Donald Glover, Childish Gambino, he leaves the show in season 4, like within the first
That's right.
7 episodes. I think it's only like 13 episodes actually, but he leaves the show, and like they also kill off Chevy Chase. He dies, and
What's
I know why.
Dick though to work with.
Oh yeah, Chevy Chase. Like the
Chevy Chase
character
was
of
a dick
Pierce-
to work with when he was on SNL.
Yeah, he's just a dick in general. Like, no one likes working with him because how he acted on Community as Pierce Hawthorne, that's how he acts in real life. That was not a character. That was just Chevy Chase. I'm not kidding. So
Oh my god.
them losing Chevy Chase, I didn't care too much. But I was like, whatever. His character like wasn't that great. He didn't really have a lot of good arcs.
He
But
made me laugh. Not gonna lie.
yeah, because he was the racist, old homophobic old man. Like, he's a token character, and they gave him thanks to the good writing of the show, they gave him like some redeeming qualities and moments and stuff in there. But overall, I just hated it, and I was just like, what's up with this trend? Because it's not only Community. So there's another show that I remember watching. Oh my god, The Banana Stand. Michael, how much could a banana possibly cost?
Oh, The Office?
With the blues. No, not the Office.
Arrested Development.
Thank you. Arrested Development. So, Arrested Development, I started watching, and I was like, this is super deadpan, weird humor, but like I know the people in here, like I know Job. He's BoJack Horseman, so I know that.
Will Arnett?
Will Arnett, yeah.
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 Mm.
So I knew
The
him,
goat.
and then freaking the guy who plays Tobias Funke, I see him in so many different shows. And so it's like it was an acquired taste, and I started loving it. And then they canceled it, and then it got revived by Netflix
Yes.
for the newest season, and it was bad. It was so fucking all over the place, and like
Well,
production was
a
like
significant
never
amount
on
of time has
time.
passed since the last season too, so these characters have aged.
Yeah, and it's just like nothing wraps up like neatly, and like it was so bad that they had to re-release it. They had to reshoot, like I think it was season 4 or season 5 or something, and they re-released it in the new season where it's like they corrected a bunch of things that was wrong with the first time they came back. So then they came back again to finish off the season. I was just like, why? Like why are you guys reviving these shows and then just like destroying them? I don't understand. It was going in a good direction. Like, why did you fire your writers after you guys didn't want to renew it? And if you were gonna renew it and reboot it or whatnot, not reboot, but like if you're gonna renew it, why not bring back the same writers? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, who are you making this for? Because obviously fans of the show are not gonna like this. So who are you making this for? The only people who would care enough to stick around after it was canceled for 3 years are people who love the fucking show. Like I guarantee you, if Firefly was airing in modern day now times, it would be fucking brought back by Hulu or Netflix by mad demand, and every single fan of Firefly would fucking hate it. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, Nathan Fillion wouldn't even be in Firefly anymore, man. Something would happen in the script writing, and it wouldn't be Nathan Fillion anymore. I swear to God. I
Firefly
don't
got
understand-
shafted. Like, people universally believe that too. Like, Firefly was a really good show that no one watched because they actually had to fucking think while they watched it.
Yeah, I see.
So-
I just threw Firefly as an example. I've never seen Firefly, but I'm saying
Me
like
neither.
It's
I know
really
that
good.
there's a lot of fans of Firefly. Like I know people don't shut the fuck up about it. So
The
like,
good-
all right, whatever.
The good thing they did though was they had the movie to finish it off, and I think they did a really good job with that. So I'm satisfied with how the movie ended things. As a fan,
But it's just like, what is this trend of reviving dead shows? Like, you think about The Office. So I like The Office, the American Office. The British one was pretty good too, but the American one definitely grew into its own thing. And it never got canceled, but they changed a bunch of stuff, and basically the show died after Michael left. Or oh my God, what's the guy's fucking actual
Steve
name?
Carell.
Steve
Yes,
Carell.
Steve
Thank you.
Carell.
Yeah, so after Steve Carell left, like the show just went to shit.
Hmm.
And that's like a universal thing that everyone agrees on. And I've rewatched The Office so many times, and I honestly, after season 3, the quality really dips. And basically after the wedding, I was just like, I don't really want to watch this anymore. That's all I cared about. That was my emotional investment in the wedding. Everything
I'm so
culminates
scared
in
to
the
get
wedding.
into the office. It seems so long, and people just keep saying, "Oh, it
Says
just
the
goes to
man who
shit
just
after."
spent how many hours watching all of
Watching
One
One
Piece?
Piece.
One
Yeah,
Piece
dude.
is good.
Oh no, The Office is good.
The Office is
For the first,
good
like,
and
couple
significantly
seasons.
shorter.
You just said The Office goes to shit after a few seasons. One Piece is good throughout most of it.
No, fuck
Yeah,
that.
just watch The Office for the first 4 seasons and then just end it. Okay, just don't
Yeah,
even.
that's fair. That's totally fair.
Wait,
5
I
and
blanked out
6.
for a moment. I blanked out for a moment. There, you watch all of what?
Yes.
You're like caught
Yeah,
up.
all of One
September.
Piece.
What? I
Last
gave up like
September.
2 years ago. I was like, man, this.
So,
Shit.
like, to make a long story short, last September, a buddy of mine asked me to come join at his place during quarantine because he was by himself with his pets. And we watched a bunch of shows. And then I told him, "Listen, I know you love One Piece. This is your only chance to get me to watch this shit." And he's like, "Fuck it, let's do it." And so we watched like 400 episodes in like 2 weeks or so.
Fuck, dude, that's a lot.
Bro,
Yeah.
I don't have another childhood to spare. All right.
It was the
Bro.
perfect. Listen, it was the perfect timing because I was unemployed, still looking for a job. He was in because of quarantine, he wasn't needed at his job. So for that very short period of time, it was just us
I could have built a
drinking,
fucking time
eating,
machine, dude.
watching anime, smoking. It was the best.
Hmm.
Dude,
But yeah.
She could have been.
I think you have to
I
be
don't know,
high to
man.
watch One Piece. Let's be honest.
Actually, no, we were sober as fuck while watching because we were having so much fun. We didn't need it. It was a
Yo,
lot of
you
fun.
know what? I say that, but I do remember like 8 years ago
What?
now. I
Listen.
marathoned all of Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT.
Well,
So
there you go. Listen, and I have no nostalgic connection to this show, and I was surprised how much fun I had with it. It was good. It is good. It's really really good.
One Piece isn't a bad show. It's just too fucking long.
Yeah, it's really
It-
fucking long. That's correct, but it's so good.
I just
It's
feel
so
like it's
good.
never like I dropped the manga because I was like, dude, it's been like 2 years and they still haven't done anything. Like what?
Dude, we're getting to an ending. We're actually getting to an ending.
Yeah, you go like the manga.
It
You
feels
go
like
like
that.
you go like 150 chapters, and they've literally moved like 10 feet from where they were before. Like, yeah, this
I
is
don't
real
know about
plot
that.
movement.
I think you're just being hella dramatic, Alex. To be honest.
Yeah,
I'm saying that
Alex
no
is
good
dramatic.
story needs 1,000 episodes or 1,000 chapters to tell.
Fuck you, buddy. It's great. What are you talking
No,
about?
no good story needs that long to tell.
I highly disagree. I
It'd be-
highly disagree.
It'd
It
be
can be done.
different if it was like sequel or there's a spit. Like this is all still the like. Man, I've been following Luffy like longer than I've been married to my wife. Like
It's not the point. It's about discovery and freedom and seeing all of these
I
interesting places
discovered
and
marriage. That like what? Like
He
Why
discovered
is it
algebra.
so
He
weird?
discovered marriage. He discovered taxes.
See,
And
I
Luffy's
can't-
still Luffy.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue against marriage, but yeah, One Piece is good. It's legitimately great. I really enjoy it. Also, side note, I wasn't wrong. Yahoo did scoop up the final season of Community.
Wow.
While they were looking for someone to back them up.
I guess they were
So-
really desperate for relevance.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. And then like that whole streaming service died like 2 years later, so that's funny.
Didn't it end up getting bought by like Hulu or something?
Something like that. I'm
No.
gonna link it in chat if anyone
Yahoo?
wants to read this article because it's really funny.
I think Verizon owns Yahoo now.
Oh, is it Verizon? Would they buy it for like
Yeah.
$15?
Excuse me.
No, they bought it for like 100-something million
Jesus
when it was
Christ.
valued at like 15. I don't know what kind of fuckery was going on with that, but that was one of the funniest things I've ever read. I was like, I don't know who the fuck, like in The Office, when you, what's the fucking, I am the fucking Lizard King guy, Robert California,
Hmm.
where he says that, where he talks to the company gets bought out and he like somehow convinces David to fucking give him a scholarship to go find gymnasts in Eastern Europe or something. Like it's
Sure.
it's so stupid and why this is the Office Space to be honest, but no, there was one more show I wanted to talk about too, which was Parks and Rec. Fucking
Oh, that one ended good, right?
no, kind
People
of.
like that ending.
Okay, well, it was the same treatment where it's like it got canceled and then it came back for like its last hurrah, and it was just kind of like it was definitely not as quality as before. Now, Parks and Rec, overall, I liked the experience more than Community, more than Arrested Development, more than Office. To be honest, like
Parks and Rec is
it's
good.
it's kind of like it's a weird one because when it first came out, everyone's like, oh, it's basically trying to copy The Office, and it kind of was. Like that was the original plan in the beginning, that because they have two of the same characters in it in Office in the very beginning. I don't remember her name. She plays
Amy Poehler.
no, not Amy Poehler. She plays
What are you talking about?
Karen. She plays Karen in Office, but then in Parks and Rec she plays the nurse girl. The one Chris Pratt is
Aubrey Plaza, I think.
no, not Aubrey Plaza.
What are you talking about then?
The one that was dating Chris Pratt in the beginning when he broke his leg.
I don't remember then.
She's like a nurse. I don't remember. I don't
I
actually.
think it's Aubrey Plaza. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me look it up.
No, it's not Aubrey Plaza. That's someone later. But point is, Parks and Rec, like, it should have ended one season early. I don't know why they came back and like tried to do the whole futuristic thing. Why would you fucking create a show? Why would you bring back a show from the brinks of extinction just to make my memory worse of it? Like, I don't understand.
My thing is like, why, if you're gonna do this, do it with shows that didn't get a proper ending. Like, you know, there's so many of these shows that get this done where they're like, we're coming back for a new season, but it ended. Like, it had a finale, that's it. I mean, maybe you may come back with a sequel series, but like it's not a continuation. Like they did this a couple years ago with Roseanne, right, on ABC.
Oh
And
my god, I remember when that happened.
like for those who don't for those who aren't old enough or don't remember, like back in the late 80s through the mid 90s, Roseanne was huge. Roseanne was one of the biggest shows on TV. And like a lot of people think that the last season of Roseanne was pretty shit because, well, it was, where they won the lottery and then it. Spoiler alert for a
so like
30-year-old sitcom. Like you find out in the final episode that the final season was actually a novel that Roseanne was writing because Dan died.
Yeah, because the complaint though was because like Roseanne is supposed to be about like this middle class, middle American class,
not even middle class, working class family.
Yeah, working class family, like with like roots and stuff, just being a working man. So for them to win the lottery and like explore that new avenue, it's really bad.
Yeah, and then the whole like revelation at the very end that the entire last season was just part of a novel that Roseanne wrote to cope with the death of her husband.
Isn't that the shittiest cop out ever?
It kind of is.
Yeah,
I think
it was a dream sequence.
They realized,
basically that.
To their credit, the writers of the show realized that no one liked this whole story arc for the final season, and they're like, "Well, how do we retcon this without actually making it seem like a retcon?" And it's like, "Oh, well, the last part was just a novel that she was writing."
That's so stupid.
And then, but the crazy thing is that they revived the show, which already had an ending, and then Dan is somehow still alive. Like, what the fuck?
Wasn't it super controversial when he came back? Like something.
It was controversial because of
herself?
Roseanne the person, because she was a Trump supporter.
Exactly. That's what I remember about
Wait,
it coming
what?
back.
Because of what? Oh, the ambient incident.
Well, yeah, we'll go with that.
Was it not the ambient incident? Who's the one who like went super racist and blamed it on ambient? Was that not
that was her, because she said that I think it was Obama's like not chief of staff, like
How did we end up in the world of politics?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's going on here?
I don't know. She used a Planet of the Apes reference to describe a black person.
Oh my god.
Ooh, yo.
A person who she didn't realize was black.
Yeah, I knew there was some controversy about,
and she did blame it on Ambien.
Yeah, I remember this entire thing about someone did something racist and blamed it on Ambien, and I was just like, yo, so it's okay to like take drugs and just be like, oh no, it's fine, I'm on drugs. That's why I'm racist.
But that wasn't even the biggest problem. The whole thing that she got booted from her own like show's revival was because she was a Trump supporter.
Yo, that's
funny.
I have no comment.
I mean,
I have a lot of comments, but I don't want to make a political comment.
No, I don't either. But that's one of the big reasons they
get canceled next.
Yeah, we're gonna get canceled.
If you guys want to know the deets what happened, hit me up.
Okay.
I followed it because it was one of my stand-up routines for many months.
I know that there's probably some other stuff behind the scenes that we might never know about too. I know that Roseanne herself has mental health issues that she's dealt with for many years as well. So, but yeah, like that was another thing that they brought that show back, and I'm like, why? Like, I get the nostalgia purpose because like a lot of people remember that show very fondly, myself included. Like, I used to love that show, but no, it had an ending. Let's leave it as it is.
I think one of the best.
Because I was gonna lead into like, there's also like Fuller House. You know, like remember Full House from the '90s? You know, something evening TV.
God, remember that show took place in San Francisco. You couldn't have that house that they had in San Francisco unless you were like a multi-billionaire now.
So like,
that's why it's a Fuller House.
Yeah.
So they bring back Fuller House, and this started this whole trend of, hey, remember all these shows? Let's make sequels to them based around like the kids or something. And like, I hate it. I hate Fuller House. I also hate Boy Meets World was one that they also remade.
Oh yeah, they did the thing with Girl Meets World now. Yeah.
Yeah, where it's like focusing on Corey and Topanga's kid.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
And the kid goes to the same school and everything too.
Now that's not to say that there's not any good shows like Cobra Kai came out, and I like Cobra Kai.
That
pretty
that
cool.
turned out really good.
Yeah, but it's like this nostalgia baiting, man. That's what gets me.
The one
Like,
that I
all
keep.
this-
that
Did
was-
they ever do a revival for Saved by the Bell?
Oh God, did they?
Hopefully
Did
not,
they?
because Screech is gonna fucking.
Yeah.
What did he stabbed some guy at a bar? Right?
Yeah. No,
Oh
the one
my
that the
God.
one that I hear rumors about all the time, and it'll never happen, because it just won't. But everyone talks all the time about rumors of a Seinfeld reboot, and I'm like, no, don't do it, don't do it.
I hate it.
First of all, Jerry Seinfeld will never let it happen.
I mean, Curb Your Enthusiasm is like sort of a Seinfeld, but like
No, people say that's a sequel to Seinfeld, and I can kind of buy that.
it's like it's sort of, yeah. That's the most
I like
can-
Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like the whole there's that military guy, and everyone's like, "Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service."
Yes.
And then who's the guy? David King?
You mean
Larry
Larry
King.
David?
Larry David? The guy, the actor
Larry-
guy.
Yeah,
What's
Larry
the actor's
David.
name? Yeah, Larry David. So and then Larry David, it's like, "Hey, nice to meet you." And everyone looks at him like, "You didn't say thank you for your service."
Doesn't
I
he
love-
pretty much just play himself in that series?
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
pretty much.
Oh man.
So not sitcom, but I mean, Samurai Jack got its final season after many years.
Yeah,
of being
and that
dead.
turned out good.
Yeah,
least I thought
that's
it
one of the
did.
few cases.
It gave us closure, but that's because they brought Gendy back for it too. That's
That
why.
shit was sad.
Yo, but that fucking sex scene that he has with what's her name, Aisha,
Aishi.
Ashi.
There's a sex scene in that season.
Yes.
God damn, I need to watch that.
Damn.
It's not an explicit sex scene, but it's
Oh.
like she gets
Heavily
captured.
implied.
And there's-
It's heavily implied.
like they're both grunting, and then doing the same repeated motions, and I'm just like, this is a sex scene.
I mean, it seems like that's one of the few cases of a show that like being back for like one last season to just close up the story.
Yeah.
They never got.
I mean,
in a good way.
we seem to be getting that in anime now too. Like these anime series that have been over for a long time that weren't complete adaptations or source material.
know, right?
Suddenly they're coming back, and it's like, oh shit, this is really
Yeah, but
happening.
But a lot of shows are like getting reboots. Since Fruit Basket, I was like, man, why the fuck? I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
but
get it.
one's getting.
What do you mean? Why the fuck? Because it's good.
I mean,
Yeah.
I like Fruit Basket and stuff like that, but I'm someone who likes my childhood the way it is, man.
No,
The thing
but
about-
with
no,
Fruits
they did it-
Basket,
I'll-
the case for it was it's a full adaptation.
Yeah, I'll
like,
defend it
versus-
because it's finally a full adaptation of Fruits Basket.
that was the case for that. But they didn't get stuff like what was the name of that show with the demon working in McDonald's?
The Devil's a part-timer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
getting a new season after like what 10 years or so.
Yeah,
Something
almost
crazy
10
like
years.
that.
Yeah.
Almost 10 years. So
That's crazy.
I like how it was
bored.
announced just over a year ago now that Kodansha picked up a shit ton of licenses for things, and like all of a
like-
sudden we're seeing all these new seasons coming out. I'm like, and I look at it, I'm like,
that's awesome.
they're
I
all
like that.
Kodansha properties now, and I'm like, no game, no live.
Oh man, we'll never get that. I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm looking at that list of Kodansha properties. I see no game, no live on it. I'm getting
I'll
this
believe
excited.
it when I see it.
Got
I
2
wish.
seasons in a movie, man.
Season
6
6.
seasons in a movie.
It's a movie. Cool.
Cool, cool, cool.
All right, shall we move on and let other people talk about
Yeah,
stuff now?
probably.
God, we're at an hour and a half into this. Jesus Christ, Natai, talk about wrestling because I
Wow,
know you won't shut
podcast,
up about it.
that's right.
Wait, do I want to talk about wrestling or something depressing? That's the question. Because
mean,
we were
Talk
in the
about
movie.
wrestling. I was at All Out.
You've been to all that?
Dude, I saw the list. I was like,
Dude, I watched that. Oh my. Okay, here we go. All right.
Here
so-
we go. Where he all right, I'm gone. I'm gonna head out.
Fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, AEW has been on fire this past year. It's insane. It's all been led up to this pay-per-view they've held in the beginning of September, All Out. And man, like, so I watched it with my buddy who was in chat previously. Like, by the end of it, he told me, listen, I've been watching wrestling for like 15 years or so. This is the best year of wrestling I've ever seen. And, like, I'm new to this shit, but it was great. It was a lot of fun. Just a really good show. A lot of incredible fights. They've debuted a lot of, like, people were expecting to show up, but it was so. I don't know. I just really enjoy like the bombacity of it all. You know, like the production itself is insane, and like the stories that they tell. Like I don't know how much I'll get into it, but
I love how they
like,
keep
what's like
poaching talent from WWE. That's funny.
because WWE keep like firing people for no reason. So it's like, okay, just
Fucking up,
come
like-
over here.
Yo,
It's
I
insane.
haven't been into wrestling in a hot second. Like that was
Dude,
back when I was like
mean,
10 years old.
The
I'm
last
sure I was
wrestling match that I actually watched, like, you know, from start to finish, was Ric Flair's final match in the WWE. That was the last match I ever watched.
How many
Shawn
decades ago
Michaels?
was that?
That was like
Like,
2000 and what, 2, 3?
Shit at
Wow.
WrestleMania? Like,
I can't remember what year it was, but that was the last match that I ever watched. Because I love
Damn,
Ric Flair so much.
It's like the thing with AEW that they've been doing lately, they've been like inviting a lot of people from different promotions for like crossover fights and stuff like that.
Mm.
So either people from like Impact, which was previously TNA,
Hmm.
or from New Japan, like big. And when I'm saying big, like legends from New Japan, like coming over, like what was his name? Suzuki Minoru, I think that's his name, which is like a
Yeah.
30 years something veteran in New Japan, which is insane. I know, right? It's crazy, and they've been like slowly for the past year or so. They've been building up this sort of reality where people from different promotions can come over and just like showcase themselves and get more like viewers to take notice of them.
It's
Which is
almost like if
awesome.
you recruit the best talent, you'll get views.
Pretty
I
much.
wouldn't say that's guaranteed though. Like
It's not guaranteed, but it's like they've been very flexible about it, which is
Mm.
which is great. You know, you give your talent more things to do on their own terms. Like, great, go for it.
the thing is with
I-
AEW.
I was watching all of the live. Well, you were there, right?
Yeah, I was in that bitch. Illinois.
Oh.
Ooh.
Dude, that's
Man.
insane. Like watching from home was insane. I can't even imagine what being there in the crowd.
They had
I was just there-
WrestleMania here in Tampa. What was it?
Oh yeah,
last year?
Florida. Yeah.
I know they had to push that back because of COVID. I think it was supposed to
Ah.
happen in like April of last year. Ended up happening in October.
It had that big storm that.
No, they had COVID.
No, I'm talking about did the show.
Oh yes. I
Yeah,
thought you
that-
meant like that's the reason it got postponed. Like
No,
no, it got
yeah.
postponed because of COVID.
Yeah, a lot of shit because of that. But yeah,
So-
AEW is
So, what was your experience, Burger, watching it live? Now I'm curious.
I mean, I've watched wrestling like live a lot of times. Big
Hmm.
wrestling. I was just at AEW just on Wednesday, literally, because they was at the Prudential Center down in North.
Great episode. That was a really terrific episode.
So I was there. I was speaking to the guy who shaved his head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Orange Cassidy
Ah.
fan. Like I was speaking to him because he was like, "Yo, it's pretty cool and stuff like that." All Out was crazy because the biggest difference between them is AEW is a brand that cares about the audience, care about their fan base. They're giving people what they want,
Mm.
and WWE is like, "Well, we'll give you what we think you want to have to like it." So there's a clear difference of, hey, we care and these people don't. Plus, they push all their talent. It was an amazing experience. I went there because CM Punk was wrestling. I was like, oh, duh.
Yeah, that was his first match in like 7 years, and it was really good. It was really, really good.
If you pay
Um,
attention to the storytelling in the match, a lot of the things they did was literally things that happened with Bret Hart,
Mm.
X-Pac, like exact sequences. If you study it and then go back and watch like some of these older matches, they planned it out.
That's the beauty that I find in wrestling. It's like you have like this like multi-layered storytelling because you have the storytelling that's like before the matches, like you have the wrestlers cutting their promos and talking shit to each other, and that's great. You can have that building up over a long period of time. You can have the storytelling in the match itself, like the certain beats, certain moves that like the wrestler can react to in a certain way. Like back in February 2020, I think it was Revolution, they had a tag match. And one of the moments in the match was these two guys like doing a very specific move on this other wrestler, Kenny Omega, and it's a move that calls back to his old partner from Japan. Now, that moves like most of the time, like knocks out opponents at the end of the match. So they pull off the move, but then he gets back after 1 second. It's like there's more to that storytelling in terms of like how he reacts to that specific move because he's familiar with it, right?
Yeah.
And specifically to Ola, they've been building up so many really great stories over the past year or so, like really, really fascinating stuff. And whether it's return of veterans like CM Punk, or like fights between Chris Jericho versus MJF, which is an incredible heel that they have right now.
It's amazing to me hearing some of the names that you always say, because I remember watching these people wrestle in the 90s.
I know, right? It's such a great mixture of all the new talent, dude. It's amazing. Like,
and from what you told me, like there's a lot of those old wrestlers that may not wrestle anymore, but they're coaches, or they're part of the story.
Yeah, Arn Anderson is like, exactly. Arn Anderson was like his stuff.
Arn Anderson hasn't wrestled since like 1994, I think.
No, dude, it's like he's one of the coaches right now. But sometimes he gets in the ring and he gets the shit bit out of him sometimes, and he takes the hit.
I got to meet Arn Anderson in like I think it was 1999 or 2000. He's a classy guy. He really is.
His son is wrestling right now in AEW. He's great. But yeah, that was an incredible experience also to watch it. Like, again, I don't have much, like, I started watching AEW like in 2019 when it first started, but I'm watching with my buddy who's been watching for a long time, like to see how happy he is while watching it. It's like, wow, shit. It's like, it seems like people didn't have a good alternative for a long ass time. So it's really cool to see like this new promotion just doing things so well.
Well, in America, for a long time, it's been WWE or nothing.
Yeah, pretty much. And they've been doing really amazingly. Like, I honestly want Alex to sit down with you, watch a few episodes, and then watch with you the pay-per-view. Because what we should do is, since we do the watch parties on our Discord server now, we should definitely do that as a watch party. Yeah, I'm down to rewatch a few episodes and watch that. It's a great time.
Yeah, I'm thrilled that some of these old guys that I used to watch, they still have a purpose in wrestling these days.
Well,
Tully Blanchard's still jumping off ropes.
That's the difference between WWE and AEW, is that because when you have these veterans and coaches who've been in the business, they know what wrestling is. The thing with WWE is they get writers from Fox who some of them don't even have wrestling experience. So they're just like, well, we know how to tell a good story, but it's not the story that wrestling fans see.
Yeah.
And like when I was breaking down the CM Punk and Darby Allin match, it was so structured because the whole point of that match was, hey, there's this veteran here who's trying to see if he can still go, and Darby Allin is this new talent. So way back in the day, Bret Hart fought X, right? And it was the same, X-Pac was trying to test himself. Well, he was the 1-2-3 kid, but he was trying to test his mettle as one of the top wrestlers in the business. So it's that same atmosphere, just told in the President's Day tell. And like Tony Khan is like, he really for someone who has not really watched wrestling that, he really understands what people dead set on.
Yeah, that guy is doing great. It's like, it's the CEO of AEW. It's like, he's been doing absolute wonders with the company ever since they started. Like, even when, like, whether it was through the COVID era where there was no crowd, and now they're back on the road, and it's awesome. I'm having a great time with
that. Was one of the weirdest things about watching sports during COVID, is watching all these things with no crowds. Like, especially watching like baseball games with no crowds.
Oh, yo, that is hilarious.
And how everything
they had the cutouts, dude.
Yeah, they had the cutouts.
Broadcaster for it, so like he was showing me the camera angle. He was like, "Yeah, cardboard cutout right there." I was like, "What is this supposed to like entice the players to be like?"
Well, it was really weird when they first started doing it, because they didn't have the cardboard cutouts and they had no like noise that they were piping into the stadium, so you could hear everything, like any word that anyone, because everything echoes in a baseball stadium typically, except for a couple. And like, you could hear everything. You could hear everything the players were saying to each other. You could hear everything echoed and reverberated constantly. So I was really glad that they started piping in the artificial crowd noise, because like it was so eerie. I do like how some of the players got into it though. They were still doing the motions as if people were in the stands. Like they were waving to like the cardboard cutouts. And there was one
Not bad.
I forget who it was.
funny.
It was a player for the Chicago White Sox. I forget who it was now. But at the end and the beginning of every single game, like he would sit there and like sign fake autographs with the cardboard cutouts.
Wow,
He
it's
is
funny.
he is better than me, man.
I feel like the cardboard cutouts would be just equally as creepy as an empty stadium. I don't know.
It was better than having an empty stadium.
Oh, yeah.
At the very beginning, before they started doing that, it reminded me. So in Baltimore, a few years ago, the Baltimore Orioles had to play a game in an empty stadium because they were having a bunch of protests downtown, and MLB didn't think it was safe to have people in the actual ballpark. So they played in an empty stadium, and that was eerie. And you could tell that it's the first time any of the players done it too, because like they were flinching at all the sounds that they could hear reverberating.
2D better
But yeah.
than no D.
Hmm.
What can I say?
But now they're back on the road with the crowds, and it's great energy. It's just awesome product.
Yeah,
Just really, really good stuff.
get vaccinated, people, so we can get more of this.
Get vaccinated, everyone. I don't know.
All
All right. So moving on. There is something I wanted to talk about because it's been on my mind for the past few weeks, and I'm kind of like, I'm looking to hear more opinions on the matter because it's interesting to me. So I've been thinking about Berserk a lot lately, and
Oh.
pretty much. Like I still haven't finished it. I'm not really looking forward to finishing it because it's after Mura's passing and all that. There's something about it.
You can finish One Piece, but you can't finish
Yeah.
Berserk. Like,
It's different. Come on,
These
it's
fucking
different.
priorities, bro.
I think the thing about Berserk is his death was so unexpected. Like, and I
Yeah.
feel so bad about it now because the week before it happened, we had a podcast where I made a joke about the fact that Berserk, he'll die before Berserk ever ends, and then like a week later he dies. I'm like, oh,
so it's your fault?
oh no.
That's Alex's fault.
I don't
Yeah,
want
the death
Alex to
note,
ever
dude.
talk about any. Listen, Alex, I don't want you to ever talk about any mangaka ever. Just so you know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm scared of you. But anyway, so I've been rereading some earlier chapters and I've been rewatching some moments from the '97 anime, which is amazing, and everyone should watch it. And there's the whole thing with the Golden Age arc. Like I won't get into details because I would highly recommend everyone to read it or watch it. And the whole thing about it is like that idea of like looking for purpose or like fulfilling your dream, and because like there's a character that states there that if someone doesn't have a purpose they're fighting for, like striving for, then I don't see them as an equal. And it's a very integral part of the entire story of Berserk, honestly. Like that whole journey of seeing Guts being aimless and then looking for purpose, and then at some point finding that purpose. It's rough. It's a very rough story. In like it's both grim, but it's very hopeful. But it gets me thinking. Like we talked about our like work-life balance, right? And every now and then I find myself like, and don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful that I'm enjoying my current job. I have a lot of friends I made there. My boss is great. Like I'm happy, I think. But every now and then, like I'll think to myself, like there's something missing. Like what am I really like looking forward to? Is there anything that I really want to accomplish, right? And it's a very big question, I know, but it's like something that comes up every now and then.
Bro, you're too early to be having a midlife crisis.
Yeah, you're
right
way
now.
too young. You're way too young. You're way
That's
too
what I
young
was-
for this. I want to go buy a Ferrari bullshit.
That's what I
Why
was
are we
about to
here?
say.
Just to suffer.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not one of these people that like feel like I need to get something done as quickly as possible because I need to do this, then I need to get married, then I need to have kids.
don't do
I'm
it.
not about that.
Don't do it, fam. my wife tricked me. Don't do it.
It's a trap.
It is definitely a trap. If you look, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. If you look
Do
at
it.
the process of marriage, how it's presented, it's like it's a very scary. My friend broke it down. He was, yo, you know how you dating your girl? I'm like, yeah, you should do that. but forever. I'm like, and it just like, you know what? Tell it in front of a preach too. I'm like, don't do it, bro. Enjoy your life. Do everything you want. It'll come.
Exactly. See, and I am. It's like, don't get me wrong. I'm not in any hurry to get married or to do any of that. Like I'm totally fine. Like going on my own pace with life. That's totally cool.
Stop thinking.
Ever since
what I'm telling you.
Yeah, ever since I've moved to my own apartment, in the center area of Israel, I've met more and more people who have this like sort of mentality in life, who like living in a marathon almost. It's like I'm like, oh, what you're doing in life? And like, oh, now I'm studying for my degree, and by the age of 26, I'm gonna finish it and like get a supervisor job or whatever. And then by the age of 27, I'll have like 3 kids and that, and like, damn, like you have your whole life planned out. Like, what's up with that? Are you sure? It's like, and people are like confused when I ask them about it. It's like, yeah, like I need to know what I want to do with. It's like, well,
Do you though?
Yeah,
do you though? Exactly. It's like, I mean, more power to them. I have nothing against that, but it's like, but it gets me thinking of like, what am I really looking forward to as a goal or something? Like, again, I'm not in a hurry to anywhere. I'm happy where I am right now. But every now and then I'll think about that whole idea of like a goal or a purpose or something that I want to work towards. It's gonna, and I don't know what it is. I really don't know. And I don't know if to just wait for it to like, something to snap in my brain to like, oh, that's what I want to do. Or to just like explore stuff. That's a question I'm kind of curious about.
Right. So, even though I was fucking with you, like I felt this exact same way about 3 years ago, right? Like I was like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like I wanted to go to school. I wanted to be an electrical engineer. But then I kind of just like lost motivation to do everything.
Was that the 3 a.m. whiskey conversation we had a couple years ago?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Where I just fucking like I had a fucking mental break, to be honest, and it was because it's like it's the same shit. Like I see all these people, they going out, they're like, oh yeah, you know, I'm about to be a fucking RN. I'm going to take these classes. Like I've got a 5-year plan. I'm like, dude, I can't even fucking plan what I'm gonna have for breakfast.
I ain't got a 5-minute plan, let alone a 5-year plan.
Yeah, like how the fuck do you have this all planned out? Like, and it's just like it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, and I felt the same way. It's aimless, right? You feel like you don't have no goal because you're just living life. You know, you're just having fun, doing whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I found solace. Like after the freak out, I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna let life do what it does. You know, I'm just gonna roll with it, and I'm just gonna do what I want to do, and hopefully it works out. You know, like I wanted to work out. I don't want to be working for a factory my entire life, but like it's about enjoying yourself while you're here. You know, it's doing what makes you happy. Like,
yeah,
for the people who do things, it's like, well, I need to get through this and eventually I'll be happy. I'm like, man, I'm not sure if that's gonna make you happy, man.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
mean,
that sounds
like,
sort of like rough. It's like, why put you through that if
As much as
like,
you
you're
might
not
want
guaranteed
it,
to be
like
happy about
this
it.
ain't an isekai. You got one shot.
Yeah, I know,
not
right?
only it's just like that hopeful idea that there's some light at the end of the tunnel of bullshit. It's like, man, I don't know.
Oh, your girlfriend John would like me to remind you that you met your girlfriend and it's the best thing in your life.
Oh yeah, yep.
Because like I do find myself like I do like just like you, like I find solace in that. Like I'm trying to enjoy just what I have, and I am really grateful for, again, like everything I have in my life right now, because I do have a lot of fun both at my at work and with my friends I see almost every day, and like I am happy. But every now and then, like I'll be by myself, I'll be thinking to myself like, oh, maybe I'll like watch some anime or play some game. I don't find, and like, but like at the back of my brain, I'll be like, don't you want to try it?
You could be hustling. You could be
Yeah,
getting a
exactly.
skill.
Yeah,
It's like, what am I gonna do today? I'll watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece. Go.
It's
Yeah,
like I feel like I'm losing my enjoyment of certain things because I'm sort of judgmental towards myself. It's like,
Well, yeah, especially when you're surrounded by people who've like they've laid out this plan, and you know they constantly talking about how they're hustling and they're doing this and that to prepare for this and that, and you're like, shit,
so
I can't even,
it's up to
I can't,
them, yeah.
I can't enjoy my 30 minutes of this anime because, like, I could learn to speak French instead. I don't know why I need to learn to speak French, but I can. Like, fuck, I should be doing something. Like, I get it. Like, I felt exactly like that because, again, I was like, man, what am I doing in my life?
I could
Working
be
at a
learning
factory.
Japanese and become the uber weeb I always know I could be.
Dude, I understand exactly coming from. First things first, never let your environment determine your happiness, right?
Yeah.
Get that completely. First of all, your boy talking about having 3 kids at 25, dude. That means as soon as she heals up, he's going.
Yeah.
Impossible. All right, it take a while for a child to be conceived. Right, there's some planning involved.
Yeah, it's insane.
So you know, what I mean, here's what I've learned. I have worked many of jobs. I've been working since 13, probably 11, because my father used to trick me. He'd be like, "Yo, come help me out. I'll give you a couple dollars," and I'll be like, "Why am I sweating?" But what I've learned because I've went through multiple phases, right? I've been a manager. I've been a store manager before. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of things. For me, stand-up comedy was the one thing. Like when I was doing it full time, it was the one thing like I always would go back. Voice acting aside, but I was doing comedy like at a high time, right? Going back and forth to New York literally every day. Like my day would consist of going to work. I worked in a school, going to work, getting out, switching clothes, getting on a train, heading to New York, leave New York at 3 a.m. in the morning, come back home. And I was happy, right? Did this for years, building up for 2 things. I was able to do a 1 hour. As a comedian, that's like the golden goose. That's like your ticket into like Hall of Fame. Because if you can do an hour of comedy by yourself, who can really touch you? So
you can do an hour of comedy, man. You can call Netflix. They'll give you a special.
That's the funny thing about it. I was in talk.
Oh,
I
shit.
was speaking to Netflix. I knew somebody that
No
worked in there.
way.
And they was like, yo, man, because my thing was I would be on Netflix. I'm like, who the fuck are all these like unknown comedians that's like has these specials and they're like trash? Like,
I know,
what?
right?
Like I can do something better. And so I took action, right? Called somebody up. I was like, yo, my buddy was like, yo, I'm gonna put you in contact with the boy. They do like what they'll do is you can submit your film. If they like it, they'll put it on their platform. I'm not Dave Chappelle, so they're not gonna give me no mega $1 million check, but my content will be on their platform. Things. And all Netflix really care about is your social media. Funny you are.
Really?
They only care about your following. I
Really
didn't.
Well, because think about it from their perspective, your following is going to draw eyes.
Yeah, that was the whole point behind it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
the way how you have to think about it, dude. No matter how much stuff you think you feel is unfunny or like that gets views, gets like people see that stuff like. That's why when like they put the Chappelle show on their platform, then Dave was like, "Yo, like that is like it's making me feel some type of way." They was like, "All right, we'll take it off." They did that because that shit was going to be watched tremendously, and it was on HBO. Like it wasn't just on that platform; it was on like tons of other.
Well, I know that Dave Chappelle said that the reason he did that for HBO Max was because they turned him down for his show a long time ago, and they used the phrase, "What do we need you for?" And so he used that phrase against them when they put it on the platform without asking him. It's like, what do you need me for?
Well, the thing is, even with that and stuff like that, is that, he left, like, they owe him mad money. So he's not making anything from that show. Rather, it's streamed on Netflix or whatever.
They did him hella dirty.
So that he told them, like, and, his idea was, what was crazy about what I did? I just didn't want to work. He signed that deal when he was 21. He made like as much money as people think he made from the show. He's made like literally like a fraction of that. And when he left, people called him a crackhead. People all this stuff. Like
hell, he's probably made double what he made back then. Now being an independent producer.
Oh yeah, because he's this legendary comedian now, and now everyone values time. He's really literally one of the few people who can say, "I don't like this," and the brand was like, "Okay." We value you more than we value this relationship.
Yeah, he's. I like to equate him. He's like the Keanu Reeves of comedy. He picks his stuff that he wants to do, and he does it.
Yo, absolutely. So when I got the opportunity to work like Netflix, because I did first things first. I did my stand-up comedy special twice. I did the first time. I did the Playroom Theater. Literally, nothing I did got recorded because cords in there were faulty, so like audio didn't
Oh.
get recorded.
Yeah,
So
we know what that's about, don't we, guys?
I was depressed because, dude, I was at the point where I was like, Magic struggle. It's not gonna. I had literally family fly out. I don't even like my, but they saw what I was doing. They wanted to support, so it meant something to me that they flew out to come see me perform for an hour. Like, bro, my graduation was like, I think my brother was there, and like that was it. Like, so I don't have the best rapport, like so-called, with my family, but to see them come out and support, it made me feel some type of. It made me feel like, oh, because everybody in the crowd knew that was going to Netflix, so told them that he wanted to noise. He had to make it seem bigger than what it is. So I did the show. Shit did not get. Did the show again. My best friend literally was the one that, bro, fuck all that. Do it again. Set it up again. Recorded everything. Got everything point. Had it edited, mastered. Put in mad money. I paid for 4 theaters in New York. 4 theaters in New York and 1 in New Jersey where I live at. Because even if Netflix didn't pick it up, I was gonna play it in theaters regardless. Paid all money out my pocket. Literally.
Wow.
I'll remember the day like I'll never forget the day because it was March 13th. I had just got transferred over to a school that dealt with kids who are autistic and things like they was autistic, children that had autism. I got there. It was my second day there. Literally got an email from Netflix being like, hey, we're going to put it in. Very next day, COVID. Everything shut down. Literally. And I remember, and I'll never forget the email. I'll never forget the call I had. Guy called me up. Hey, man, thing going on right now called COVID. Sorry, we can't review it right now. Don't worry. It'll probably be done in 2 weeks. His exact fucking words.
Wow.
It'll be gone in 2 weeks. Probably don't worry about it. Probably be gone in a month. 2 weeks.
Not bad.
Fucking flash forward 2 years.
School called me. School dropped me. And because I'm an assistant, I wasn't like, I'm the first one to go. School shut down. I had nothing. Everything I worked for was gone. Everything shut down. Lost in the sauce. No direction. Nowhere where to go. And I'm thinking, what do I do now with my? And I tried alternative, right? I tried to do comedy and like, hey, we'll do it on Zoom. Shit does not work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're talking, and I think what made me realize this shit wasn't going to work. I did a comedy show we're gonna do a drive-through show. Y'all remember like back in the day, like people would be in their cars and they would drive up to like a mountain or something, and it would be like a big projector and they would just watch a movie from their cars.
Yeah. Well,
Guy had
show's too young for that, but
Not bad.
I'll send you some pictures.
some black and white pictures.
Yeah. Literally the same mentality. It was like, yo, we'll do it. Everybody in the car, you don't have to worry about getting sick. It'll work out fine. Had a really bad feeling about it. Felt like did the show, never felt so like pathetic doing something. Remember, I did comedy for 6 years. I did the Apollo Theater. Done comedy all my life. Literally did this show. Because everybody's in their car and no one can clap, they have to honk their horn.
Oh my god.
I don't know if y'all ever have 40 car horns blown at you at one time.
That sounds awful.
I'd be like, no, don't applaud until the end.
Like,
God.
this shit is nauseating. Like, I threw up in the middle of performing. It's like my head hurted.
I can
bad.
imagine. That would distract me to no end.
Whose idea was to have a fucking
The
car
dude,
horn?
I won't say his name. Still paid me, but you know what I mean. But I understand what he was trying to do. He was just trying to find a way to get something back to norm.
Yeah, he was trying to make it work.
And it just didn't. You know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
like, we're gonna try it out and stuff like that. And it was bad for me because I was the first act out. And
So
like,
you were the guinea pig. You were literally the guinea pig.
I had so much material going, and then literally by the end of it, I was like, I don't want to do it no. So I'm lost. I don't know what to do. All my life has been like towards. Yeah, I work, but you have to understand. For a lot of people, like when you're working at a job you don't want, you're usually working with a purpose, working towards a goal. My goal always comedy. So all the day jobs, all the other jobs I had, that hustle, that grind to work extra hard was all
You were in service of that, yeah.
was going to that, and it was fucking gone. And I had no idea what to do. I was shocked, depressed, and I was sad, man, like visibly sad. And it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do. And eventually I fell into like the voice acting scene, and like I started doing that. And it's always been something that was there, but comedy has always been foremost because it got me paid, it got me traveling, and it was the one thing I immediately saw successful. I literally spent 5-6 years honing my craft doing it. So like here I am jumping into something new that, you know, I think I can do and stuff like that, but you know, not nearly as much passion as I had for Nelson. And it took my wife really sitting down with me and being like, yo, because you still need money. Like, and I didn't, like, government did me dirty. I ain't get no damn stimulus check. Like, I was like, yo, like, I ain't get no unemployment.
I'm over here, someone. Hello, Moshi Moshi.
What? You too? Like, yo, I wrote them a mean ass, yo. I had no unemployment because I was working at the, I had just got off on right before the whole COVID shit happened. So they was like, yeah, no, had nothing, and everything was closed. So I didn't have no money to work anything. Wife sat me down. She was like, yo, I will let you do this for a year. All right. If you can make it work, do it now. Find out what matters to you. I will make sure you have food. I will make sure you have a roof over your head. I'll make sure you have something to eat. But now's the only time to try to figure. I jumped into voice acting so fucking hard to the point where now I'm like, I'm very happy to say, dude, I can find happy. And I say all this to tell you, dude, young, I'm like, but
I'm redacted.
There's no time limit on when you'll have your money, when you'll find, because I didn't think I would be here, and it literally came out of nowhere. Give yourself time, figure out whatever it is you like to do, and do it, and start, and let's figure out a way to monetize.
Yeah.
I spoke to Yoranika. She said the most interesting thing ever. She was like, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, I do hentai dubs, but you know what's crazy about my story? I was just a horny female, figured out a way to make money doing it. Literally.
Monetize the horny.
She monetized herself. She monetized the fact that she was, and she did it in a respectful way. No matter what anybody else can say.
Honestly.
Yeah.
No matter what anyone else can say, she has a career path.
Yeah.
Look,
True.
dude, don't stress yourself over things like that. You will find, like, whatever it is you like to do. Like, look at the things you enjoy doing. And don't tell yourself, well, I can't make no money doing this. Because my mother told me that same shit. And now they're Twitch streamers. I'm like, Mom, if you would have told me about this shit.
For real.
I was like,
No,
bro,
tell me why.
Yo, I remember hooking up my GameCube to the VCR, and I would record my gameplay. And I was like, yo, I was streaming before anybody fucking thought about it, yo. Like,
Tell me what. My mom was the same way. She's like, why you playing this Counter-Strike game? You need to get a job. And I'm just like, Mom, I just want to play video games. She's like, no, that's not going to help you get a career in the future.
there ain't no
and
job.
Now, you know what she says to me? Hey, how come there's Twitch people on this Twitch? They make so much money playing video games. You can do that. I'm like, really, Mom? I can do that? No, I can't.
Fuck you.
What the fuck?
I did the same thing. I was at my parents' house one day and I was watching, I think it may have been a Dr. Disrespect stream. And he's like getting all these donations and my dad just says, why can't you do that? And I just turned at him and said, bitch, do you know how many times you told me growing up to get off the damn video games?
Yeah.
Yo, dude, I'm like, my wife wants to have kids. I'm doing my best to tell her no. She keep trying to use Jedi.
She give you the puppy dog eyes like, don't you
Yo,
want to
it's just like shit I'm not ready for. She was like, sure? I'm like, what are you? No! But like my whole goal is whatever it is, like when I do have kids, you know, I ain't gonna say I won't, you know what, kids or whatever it is you like to do, figure out how to monetize it. That's why when I'm teaching, like whatever students like to do, I would be like, yo, here are these resources. let's start the journey now, because it's going to take a while. You're gonna have to put like 5, 7, 8 years of like grind in to really be good at it. But if you start young, by the time you're in your 20s, you're already running stuff. I'm starting now, so I have to put in the grind and effort to do the shit that I want.
Yeah, like when you look at a bunch of like big channels like Markiplier, I love watching Markiplier on YouTube, right? I remember when he was still like at 50K subs, man. Like back in the day, using a fucking shitty webcam, just playing video games. You know, look at him now. He's just celebrating what, 30 million or something?
Yeah, 30 something.
Subscribers?
Like that, yeah.
Like, bro, it's been a journey for him. And
I also
it's like
I'm glad for him in particular that he stopped playing a character and he's just himself now.
Yeah, he definitely was with the times, but I mean that was the way you get subscribers back in the day. Like,
Yeah.
until he found his own
Same,
niche of like
you
his
could
own
say,
fan
yeah.
base. Like he was just doing whatever. Oh shit, the game crashed.
Uh-oh.
Not bad.
Oh no.
Apex is
Servers.
telling you you've played enough.
Server's been shit on Apex,
Ollie,
but
Ollie's trying to get in your game.
no, I think there's like
The
a
hackers from Titanfall fucking up.
Yeah, right.
no, I think there's like a time limit on. I think it's like 1 hour or something.
But no,
in
that's
being
also
in
something
fire range, but
you bring that up. It's something that people don't think about. Like even the biggest people start out small. Like we think about Hololive now for VTubers, right? The first member of Hololive, Tokino Sora, she had 13 people show up to her first stream, and I think 3 of those or 4 of those were like people who worked at Hololive. So
okay, but hear me out. We had our first stream and we had 0 viewers, man. You look at that. She was starting way ahead of the pack, man. That's some bullshit. No, but yeah, like you got to start somewhere. You know, like this whole idea that you can blow up overnight. Not to say that it doesn't happen. You can definitely just blow up.
Oh, it
You
does.
don't want that to happen.
Like
also.
we
I
could
don't
blow up
think that's
overnight.
healthy.
Like, but
I think
that's-
it's not really healthy even to blow up overnight. Let's
no,
be
I don't
honest.
think it is either because you have unrealistic expectations. It's like buying your
Exactly.
first lottery ticket and winning the jackpot. Like,
It'll affect your mental. Yo, if you want someone
Yeah,
to be
for
inspired
sure.
by, listen to Bella Porch. Her life. That is a female who, yo, she's had it rough as fuck. No one believed. She made one track, one song. She is going on tour with a song. She don't even have a fucking album, and like people are giving her shit.
I feel like we need to get to show because I got like 25 minutes before I gotta bounce to go to work.
oh shit.
And Show
that's
hasn't
what-
gotten
that's
anything he wanted to talk about yet.
Let's remove some of
No,
my
it's
stuff because I don't
fine.
know.
But
Well-
talk about Guild Wars 2 Show because I know you're fucking obsessed. In fact, I can
Oh
show
my
you playing it
God.
right now because you've been playing it the whole time. Look at this. This is Show
So-
playing Guild Wars.
I started playing Guild Wars 2 a month ago, and we've got 321 hours logged into it. Listen, I don't have a problem. Okay? No. So, so I used to play a lot of Guild Wars 1 when I was in high school. I have like 10,000 plus hours logged into Guild Wars 1. And Guild Wars 1 and 2 are both MMOs, although Guild Wars 2 is more of a traditional MMO. Apparently, Guild Wars 1 was more of a more RPG than MMO because there wasn't any big events. You could only really kill things with a few people together at a time. So yeah, this game, Guild Wars 2, released like what, 15 years ago, something
That
like
shit
that.
released in 2012. I was at GameStop when that
Holy
shit
shit.
released.
Girl,
I was working.
yeah.
You were literally a fetus when this was made, or when this was released.
Exactly. Honey, when my mom saw that Guild Wars 2 released, she had the contractions when I came out. True story. Anyways, so yeah, I was a big Guild Wars 1 fan. Guild Wars 2 released. I was like, oh shit, man, let me play this shit. So I played it for like a month. I like grinded hard, got to max level, maxed everything out, did all the end game, and then I'm like, there's nothing to do. And then I got bored, and then I quit.
And then you
And,
tried to get me to play.
I tried to get you to play the first game, Guild Wars 1.
Hmm.
Because Guild Wars 1, there's so much more to grind. Whereas on release, Guild Wars 2, I grinded everything.
Hmm.
And I was like, there's nothing left. So anyways, one of my friends, Nisam, got into Guild Wars 2 a month ago and was like, come play, come. And I'm like, fine, whatever. Started playing this game, and damn, the new releases, they did like a couple expansions and new content and stuff. And the new releases to this game really, really improve it. It makes it like so much better. They really doubled down into the verticality of the game. So this game has stuff uh, called jumping puzzles where you have to like jump around like mountains and cliffs and stuff to get rewards. And some of the new maps they released are like literal vertical mazes. Like you get lost in them. Like you can't see. Like there's like a full canyon where like you have to like explore the entire fucking canyon to find the little tiniest little turd hidden in the little corner. And like that sounds really annoying, but it's pretty like
You're
fun.
selling me really good on this game right now. I love that shit.
Me, I'm not good at this game. No, I'm not good at this game. I just like I find it like the new content is a lot of fun. They've also like released the big thing, one of the new, well, they also released mounts, and mounts, tie in. They're not just quality of life, but they tie in with the verticality and exploration of this game because the mounts unlock new movement modes like vertical jumping and like flying, which really makes exploration like a lot of fun. And they also released a lot of end game dungeons, which are way more interesting. They actually released 100 at new dungeons, end game dungeons, which is crazy. But yeah, the dungeon bosses have all their unique, patterns and stuff, and you have to like learn how to dodge the patterns. And yeah, that's another thing I really like about this game is that the combat is super fluid. You have to uh, know the boss patterns, dodge the AoEs, and do your skill rotation at the same time, which is like refreshing compared to other MMOs where you just stand still and just do your rotation and like I don't know,
See, I've
have
played
it on repeat.
other MMOs like Blade and Soul, Black Desert Online. They have that, and like Final
Mhm.
Fantasy 14. You play in these other MMOs, like they have you need to learn boss patterns. There's certain mechanics to the fights and to the dungeon itself. Like I like doing that, but at the same time, I I have a love-hate thing with MMOs, right? I love MMOs, but I also hate them because it's like, what are you grinding for? Like
No,
you'll
that's
reach a
a
point.
Are we still
legitimate
here?
problem. I really don't like the grind. Um, that is one issue I have with this. In Guild Wars 1, you really just grinded for like aesthetic, which I don't mind. But Guild Wars 2, you have to grind for gear, which
Yeah,
is super
like
annoying. Because
it's
like
like that.
you'll never have the best gear because you're just in the constant state of grinding for it. So
No, like that fucking
whatever.
what was that? South Park where they're playing WoW,
Oh, it's such a good episode.
What do we do now? Now we can finally play the game.
But stuff like Final Fantasy and oh my god, yeah, that's so dumb that you can start playing the game after like 1,000 hours. Yeah, totally. But
Yeah.
yeah, stuff like the other MMOs like Final Fantasy and Blade and Soul, I feel like a lot of them, when you're using your abilities, you're rooted, or is that not true? Like you're immobile.
Not I haven't played Final Fantasy 14 enough to tell you.
Okay. I just feel like the combat in Guild Wars is very fluid. Like you're always moving, you're always using skills. You have so much skills. You don't have energy. You just use your skills on cooldown. So you have so many skills to pop. It just is a really and also the visual effects of the skills. I've seen like gameplay of Final Fantasy and the visual effects of them doing the boss looks like honestly it looks really ugly and boring to me.
Oh,
Maybe I
wow.
haven't watched enough, but
Wow.
just
Yikes.
I'm just saying, it looks boring. It doesn't look like something fun, but the visual effects in this game are really like cool and fun. Although the actual models of the like mountain you can see here is really janky, but the visual effects are good. It's like this mountain was modeled in like 2006, and the visual effects were modeled in like 2020.
Yesterday.
So, exactly. So I'm like, huh, some of this is nice, some of this is ugly. And another thing I enjoy about this is that they have these really big events where like 100 plus people kill like one boss, it's a huge clusterfuck, but it's a lot of
Fucking
fun.
field bosses, field raids.
Yeah, and there's like map-wide events where like teams of like 20 to 50 all have to do different objectives at the same time, and then like converge and do the boss, and that's a lot of fun too.
Dude,
So
like a good
yeah.
raid is like a fucking wet dream. It's like the only reason I play Destiny 2 is because of the raids. That are so much fun. But it's like such a fun
But yeah,
experience.
it's been fun. I've enjoyed it. I've been really and also the story of the game is like really well acted, the voice acting, and it's a really great just story in general. So I've been enjoying all that new content.
How
I'm
do they
I've
monetize Guild Wars 2? Is it like a monthly subscription or is it like per
no,
expansion?
it's just one-time payment. So when it released, you just paid for the game. But now the
God, y'all
base game
remember
is
those days when
free.
games came out and you just paid for them and they were yours? Wow.
I
I know,
know.
right?
That's
PlayStation
great.
2, I
But
love
yeah,
No, but this
now
is
if
an
you
MMO, so that's why I'm asking. I'm curious.
yeah, now that if you want to play the game, the base game that you had to pay for originally is free, so you can play up to max level, do all the base level content and everything, and then the expansions are actually only $30 for the expansions.
Oh wow,
So
that's super fair.
yeah, one-time payment of $30, and they're going to be releasing another expansion next year in February, so that looks interesting. It'll probably be a lot of fun as well.
Still
So
supporting a nearly decade-old game.
Damn
yeah,
good
I was
game
Just-
since
surprised. I mean,
2012.
there's still enough
Just like
people.
Rockstar milking a game for all it's worth.
Not that. I mean, it's a pretty good game. I wouldn't say it's milking it, especially since there's no subscription fee, so I don't feel like I'm being like exploited.
True. I'm saying they're
Uh,
doing a better job than Rockstar though.
yeah.
The
But
bar
yeah,
isn't really high.
I was honestly expecting this game to be dead, but there's enough people to do like the end game dungeons and all those big 100+ people events and everything. So, it's been a good time.
Well, I'm
Good
happy.
times.
I still think I've told you this multiple times. I think you should stream this on our Twitch channel. Like, I feel like there might be an audience for it, especially as much as you play.
She might be streaming on her channel.
Maybe.
You can
That's
help
not
me.
true because I would get fucking alerts for it. So you're lying. You fucking liar.
You lie
No,
as you
You
Okay,
lie as
that
you
was
breathe.
That was a future tense. A future tense might be.
Mm.
But yeah, that's my
Awesome.
month-long dive into Guild Wars 2,
Mm.
which is crazy that like in a month I've gotten to max level and done basically the story for both the expansions. So
Having
Was a
known you for
long
nearly
month.
6 years, no, that's not very surprising.
that is not surprising. That is
Yeah, I don't know. Remember the
that
days
is
of Shaw
true.
playing Civ 6 all the time?
Well,
Oh
he
my
still does.
God.
Don't let him fool you.
Not this. I only play on my private servers.
Ah.
Exclusive invites only.
Only fans for show.
He only plays with his friends, is what he means.
He only played
No,
with
no,
his
I
only
only
fans.
I only
His
I
only
only play with my friend that has like 5 hours in the game, so I can stomp him.
Oh.
That's it.
Just like you
Wow.
used to do with me.
Oh my God, I love the first time I played with you. I raided your cities. I hate myself, but I love myself.
What a bitch.
I know.
I know, right?
It's a wonder how I have friends. Truly a wonder.
People are gluttons for punishment, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, you're such a bitch. I want to keep playing.
Exactly. I guess I'll talk about one more thing.
More
So
D&D horror stories, please.
no. So I wrote
love
down
it.
in I wrote down in the doc of stuff to talk about D&D horror stories. But I don't have any of my own. What I meant by putting that
Ah,
down was that I've been recently obsessed
The
with
subreddit?
I don't know, not the subreddit.
Oh.
With I'm a boomer with the YouTube videos
Oh.
of D&D horror stories. Like, who has time to read horror stories? It's just much easier for some YouTuber with a sexy voice to read the horror stories on Reddit to you.
Oh my
Uh,
god.
Oh my
so,
god.
so I've been
Fucking
listening
stealing
to
content, dude.
what?
I have a whole thing about like there's a bunch of YouTube channels that literally just steal memes from Reddit or
Yeah,
like
literally.
Yeah,
repost.
that's
But,
their
like,
entire channel.
It's like plagiarized content, but
Yeah.
like
It's just like I hate it.
eat it up, bitch. I eat it up.
Oh my, you're the problem.
Yeah, you are the problem.
It's like no effort content. You just read from Reddit, but like I can't stop. It's so addictive. I've subscribed to like, I don't know, 4 channels that do it. Honey, honey. I really like this channel called, well, I think the biggest channel that I listen to is Crit Crab. He does a lot
I've
of
watched some of
stories.
those videos before talking about the D&D horror stories.
Yeah, he's pretty big. I've also really liked listening to this new channel called Crow's Perch. He's got like the sexiest voice, so I'm like, please make more.
Oh my
Please
Thank
let
god.
me make
you.
love to your voice.
Literally.
Smooth like silk.
Yes, exactly. Um, but yeah, I've just been obsessed with that. But one last thing I was going to talk about was that, so I think last month, so I live with my uncle at my uncle's place, and last month he decided he was going to have 100 plus um house party. And I'm like, that sounds great, but like I'm an introvert and I hate people. So you have fun with that.
Sheesh.
Um, so the party happened, also, COVID, but apparently we don't care about COVID. So yeah, the party happened. Um, I like went down for a little, but mostly I was kind of over it, so I just literally went to bed at like 8 p.m. I was like, I'm over this. Please
Not
get
you getting to bed at a decent hour.
we'll get to that. So then like I quote unquote went to bed because I woke up at like 1 a.m. Because I went to bed too early. And I'm like, ugh, I'm awake. The party was still going on at 1 a.m. So I went down. Um, they needed help closing the gate to the yard because it's funny because before the party the gate was semi-functional, and after the party off its hinges. The metal gate off its hinges, pried from the
Fuck.
brick it was nailed down to.
Someone was going ham on that gate.
I don't know who was grinding on the gate, but someone was having some fun with the gate. Anyways, gate's
Wow.
messed up. I need help. They need help locking the gate. So I come outside to lock the gate, and police cars are parked around the driveway. Sirens, not sirens, lights flashing. Uh, Policemen with rifles
Uh-oh.
are surrounding the house. And as soon as I step out, they're like shouting at me to come to them, get in the lineup, and get patted down. And I'm like, the fuck's going on here? So we get patted down. They walk us to the road. Um, and I walk to the road, I see a lot of other people are like face flat on the ground with rifles pointed to them, and I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so then we all get patted down, we go on the road, and I find out that um, there were some party crashers that threatened to they wanted booze, and when we asked them, or when the people at the party asked them to leave, they're like, I ain't leaving, and you can't make me because I'm gonna pull out my gun and I'm going
What?
to fuck y'all up.
Yo,
So then
You live in
Yo.
Toronto, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if I didn't know any better, I'd say you lived in America.
I'd say this took place in like fucking
There's
Memphis,
no,
Tennessee or
like,
some shit.
there's no right to carry here. There's like that's people don't have guns, but apparently these people had guns. Allegedly, we don't know. Anyways, that's the alleged story. So they called the police. So the police got a call that there was someone with a gun at our house threatening.
What the
So
fuck?
they raided us, and and they didn't know who had the gun, so everybody got patted down. Um, uh, yeah, and it was really funny because everybody at this fucking party was pissed drunk, and like the police were questioning everybody, and like everybody was like fucking ranting and shit, and I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening?
I just wanted to
Um,
play Guild Wars, man.
I hate it here. I just wanted to go back to bed, honey. Anyways, so
Did
that
you
was a
have
fun.
that? Did you have that moment where you saw the police and you're like, "Oh God, I'm brown. This ain't gonna go down well."
Oh my god.
That's
I-
so funny. When I told this to my other friends, they're like, "Was this a race thing?" And I was like, "Girl, most of the people at the party were white. I don't." No, I didn't think I was gonna be particularly persecuted because I'm brown. Although, that I don't speak for all brown people, but be
I was about to say that's because you don't live in America.
Well, no,
You know,
even
right?
even in Toronto, there is racism among the police, but I personally didn't feel specifically targeted.
Pretty rough in
let
the
me-
hood.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you don't live in the hood.
Pretty rough
Nah,
over
we in the
here.
Does
hood.
Toronto even have a hood?
Girl, of course we do. What do you mean?
I've been to Toronto
feel
like 3 or 4 times, and like every
Okay,
single
but
time I've
you're-
been there, it's a
first
great
of-
city.
You're a tourist. That's why. You're not a
Well,
local.
first of all big cities have a hood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it didn't have a hood. I'm saying that if it does, I've never been to it.
Well, why would
I'm not
you?
gonna comment.
I don't
We're
understand.
not gonna comment on
You
that.
go buy some crack? Like, the only reason you'd be out there at 1 a.m. was because you're trying to buy some crack.
Not the.
I am from the South.
Wait,
Oh,
what
you're
does
right.
the
My-
South
I'm
have to
sorry.
Are
do
you
with
your
Math.
crack?
sister?
So it's meth.
There you go.
Man, I need to stop this racism. I've lived in America too long.
I hate it here.
Huh.
Well, I literally hate where I am.
Well,
I
shit.
fuck-
You want to see
Shit.
racism? We had the Scribblio stream earlier this week and showed
Oh,
Drew the most stereotypical picture of a Mexican person
Can I
I've
just
ever
say-
seen in my life.
Can I
Did it-
just
did it
say,
have a
yeah,
sombrero?
He had a
Did he have a
mustache and a
sombrero?
sombrero, and he was having the maraca. He had the maracas going on.
yes,
But
Wow.
you knew what it was, didn't you? Racist.
I'm surprised there were no swastikas drawn in that
okay,
stream. Just
actually,
saying.
okay, just
Because I wasn't
personally,
there.
okay, first of all, it's like Pictionary, and if you get like an ethnic sort of prompt, how are you supposed to draw that?
I mean,
I mean, okay,
I don't want to be racist, but you're right. Like, if it said draw a black person, if I drew like a person with an afro, it'd be pretty cool. It'd be easy to guess, right?
I thought
They
you were
were
gonna go
making-
even
they were-
further with
okay,
it. It's
I had
like,
a-
what
I had
are
a
you gonna
prompt.
draw besides the afro?
Right.
I had a prompt for a gang, so I drew a bunch of stick figures with guns, and they couldn't guess it. So then I put in sunglasses and reverse baseball caps, and they all guessed it.
And you
then I
drew
got
them
rid-
all black.
It's a
That's the
figure
default
is
color.
black. What do you mean? It's a pencil is black. What do you want? Anyways, and then I got criticism for using black stereotypes, and I'm like, hello, hello.
Could've
Y'all,
just-
y'all all guessed it as soon as I put
I
in.
mean, what I would have done was like draw the stick figures and then like, you know, the Peirus and the Suwu, you know, like the
The symbols?
red
I
and
didn't know
blue.
the symbols.
no, just red and
What?
blue like bandanas.
blood,
Like the
Crips.
Bloods and the
Bandanas
Crips.
is
Yeah.
a racial
So
stereotype.
Yeah. Oh. Man, I'm from Seattle. That's all they scream. Suwu!
Nah,
anyway.
here in Florida we got Bloods and Crips, man.
Oh,
I highly doubt that.
Wait, what's
don't
blood
know.
cribs?
there we go.
Oh my! Oh man, you're not even American. Oh fuck!
Oh
Yeah.
damn, be glad. There's,
I'm confused.
there are Bloods, then there's Crips, then it's the Latin Kings.
Yeah, we got a lot of Latin kings here in Florida too.
Oh word, dude, it's like
Wait, Latin King is like a gang?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
that's the
all
name of the
crazy.
gang.
Oh.
They'll fucking shoot up your mom's house, man. They don't give a fuck. They don't fuck
Oh,
around.
Shit.
Yeah.
they violent.
Man, you know it's always strange to me to meet people who've never grew up in the hood. Like
I mean,
don't-
yeah.
you don't know about this?
You don't know what the Crip walk is, bro? Like, you don't know what colors the block wear in certain neighborhoods? Like what? What?
It's my first time meeting Burger, and I love this dude, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo, you gotta, bro, I gotta give you some etiquette, bro, because you gotta know how to respond. If someone come up on you like, yo, I'm about to get the blicky, you gotta be like, you gotta go, like,
Yeah.
you gotta bounce, bro. Like, yo, if you ever hear these terms,
You're not
yo,
turning to a Glock I went crazy. What?
if you hear any of these terms ever, you immediately go run away. Who do you? AOG, go grab, go immediately run. Don't sit
Oh my
around.
god.
If someone say I'm about to
I
fuck,
think
about
the
to
only word I picked out of that was blicky. That's it. That's the only one I recognized.
You know, I just had this conversation at work where there's this guy. He still lives in the New Holly projects, and he's talking about all this stuff. And on this bus, there's like me and like two other guys who know what he's talking about. We're having a fucking laugh about it, you know. But to these other people in the factory, they're just like, look at us like, oh, gang violence, like what? It's like it's so shocking to them that we're just joking about it. It's like, man, that's just how it is, though.
Yo, it's funny as hell because I know exactly what you talk I went. I took my cousin lives in like South Jersey, so like we went over to Cherry Hill, I think. So me and my homies over there talking. We just talking about like I ain't happy. I had to learn it to survive. So we like talking. Group of kids come up around. It's like, what's going on? We like, yo, man, just chilling. See what the day is. You know what I mean? He like, nah, what? Huh? I'm like, yo, where y'all from? And then we had to look. Like, oh yeah, here. Damn. All right. Well, we about to go to the park, play ball for a while. Oh, all right. Yo, why don't you meet us? With God, this boy came over here with what's that damn? Oh, damn! It's not basketball. Man came with like I think a wiffle ball or something. It was some shit. I was like, what the fuck? Like where the ball at? He was like, this is it. And I'm like, I hate it.
Nah, the worst thing you can hear in a like a really bad part of town is where you from, because there isn't a good answer to that question.
Yeah, where your grandma stay?
Where you from? Where your family from? Where your grandma at? There ain't no good answer to that question except right fucking here.
Listen, nothing in life ever like prepared me to actually answer that type of question. Not gonna lie.
And it's so different, man. It's so different when you grow up in the hood. Like, man, the fact that we had to learn all this shit just to like, so we wouldn't fucking get beat up, fucking robbed and shit.
Dude, I grew up in the most dangerous thing here is the fucking goat. That's it. There's nothing here.
I think the most dangerous thing in the part of the world you grew up in is the fucking Palestinians.
Yeah.
Let's not
Let's not get into that.
It's 1 a.m. Let's not get into that.
Oh, what's that? I hear a rocket alert coming from Natai's apartment.
No. We should
Never forget
give
that
Burger
one
his
time.
time. We need to give Burger his time, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We about to cut out.
Yeah, Burger.
Oh,
what do you want to talk about? Anything in particular? Anything you want to plug?
Plug?
Yeah, plug away, dude.
I mean, look, man. I really got a lot of stuff to talk. I've been talking this whole time. I don't really know what more y'all want me to do. You know what? Actually, it was John was talking about shows getting brung back because I was happy as fuck last week and I got depressed because I was like, I saw my boy Steve from Blue's Clues come back and
Oh yeah,
that shit
man,
was
that shit just did something to my soul, man. It was like,
I'll be honest. Like I watched that whole thing and at the end. I was like,
I cried, bro. I was like,
I never forgot you either.
I'm like, yo, the only thing that can top that is Tom from my.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, these are the real OGs I had. But see that was a real good film moment for me. And then John was talking about shows getting brung back and stuff like that. And they making a reboot to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's just called Bel-Air.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, they got
bro.
streaming
First
on
of all,
Peacock. It's
Uncle Phil, man, you cannot replace Uncle Phil.
Nah,
They're
Uncle
replacing
Phil.
the entire cast. Like they're like it's all new people. They're still the same name, but they're all new people. And like it's supposed to be like
I don't know if they're gonna have as
more
like
dramatic.
I'm not sure if they're gonna have the same gravitas. Like they had a bunch of stuff on that show, like the one where they're trying to join that fraternity, you know. But the ones who are like, we don't want Carlton because he's not us, you know.
He's
like, what do you mean?
he's a sellout.
Yo, my man Carlton Carlton had the burner, the blicky,
Oh,
the firearm.
that's true. After Will gets robbed, bro.
Yo, Carlton was ready to roll up, man. Yo, John, did you ever watch Boys in the Hood?
Yeah.
Remember when in the scene where Trey was like, yo, Doe, let me out. Yo, Doe, let me out. Carter would have been like, yo, let's roll up and y'all best not miss.
Exactly.
Carlton was that show was so dramatic and it has such an like, I don't know what they're trying to do with this. They're like, oh, it's just called Bel-Air and supposed to take a more serious tone. Man, when Will was looking at his father, he was like, yo, why don't they want me? And like, yo, Albert.
To anyone that's ever said that Will Smith can't act, I always point them to that scene from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like he can definitely act.
Bro, I had a father and I felt that. I was like, yo, why don't they want us? Father was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh my bad. Like, thought you wasn't there. But
like it wasn't. So I know a lot of people are gonna look at it and they'll be like, oh, it's too political and this and that. But like, bro, you've been suffering like this for a while. You know, there's a lot of oppression going on, a lot of fucking bullshit going on just because of the color of your skin. Like you can't ignore. This has been going on not just since the 90s. Like this shit never left. Right? That shit is still real. Like my only concern is that I love Fresh Prince just because Uncle Phil, man, he felt like he's like a father figure, you know. And looking out for Will, it felt like He was the fodder figure. He was the one who was there for you at your lowest and always wanted the best for you. You know, when everyone else discounted you, he still believed in you.
And the
No,
crazy thing about it was, is like they didn't always get along, but it was that realistic relationship where like, yo, we won't see eye to eye on everything, but I'm still like, I love you. I'm here for you. And like, you know, the fact that they're trying to reboot that show with the same characters and the same names, like, don't get me wrong. Like, I used to watch Different World and all these shows had like a certain place in my heart. And you know, there's shows that are inspired. Like one of my favorite shows of all time is Married with Children. I don't need to see a reboot of Married with Children. Like, you can just make something new and call it its own, but they're using the name of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because they know people are gonna click on it. And like that alone makes me like I'm just not.
I know that there. I forget what outfit it was, but it was like 5 or 6 years ago. There was an outfit that did a list of like the best black fathers on television, and James Avery as Uncle Phil was number 1, and I couldn't agree more.
Bro, that man was Shredder. Like,
yeah, he was Shredder.
That man was Shredder. Turtle. That was him. I just hate stuff like that. I feel like I understand that each generation, you know, like these shows were important to me, and I couldn't imagine like growing up and not having it. But
I don't think some of these need to be rebooted though. That's the great thing about like streaming services like Netflix and Hulu. You get to go back, you know, new generations can go back and enjoy what the original was.
Yo, like I don't need to see why am I watching Bel-Air with these same like I'm watching a character that's going by the name Uncle Phil. And like I'm going to talk to people 5, 7, 10 years down the line, and I'm gonna bring up Uncle Phil, and they're gonna bring up someone completely different, and it's going to make it's gonna literally like piss me off, and it's not gonna be their fault because that's what they grew up watching. Like, why are we replacing characters that already are established? Make new characters, make new connections for other people. I don't want to say tarnish, but like that show ended like it left with them selling the house, and they all went and did their own thing. You gonna have the dude playing Will, his name's not even Will. like what fuck going on here? Like,
yeah, I definitely think that Fresh Prince is something that should never really be rebooted. It was really damn good as it was.
Yo, they had that 20th anniversary where they all came back and talked. That was closure for me. Like just having them talk, and you know what I mean. They all came back, and the original and Aunt Vivian came back, and it was like, yo, you know, this hurt me because I was gone from the industry long time. Like that did a lot for me.
Do you remember in the Fresh Prince the fourth wall break they did when they had to recast Aunt Viv, and Jazz looks at her after she has the baby and says, "You look different, Aunt Viv.
There's something different about you."
There's something different about you, Aunt Viv.
And then Will just
she got done hella dirty though, like because the entire reason she even got recast was because like in the pilot, like Will wasn't supposed to be the main character, so it was focused on like the entire family. And Aunt Viv didn't like the fact that, or the old actress didn't like the fact that it was going that direction. But then the fucking tabloids spun it into their like own web of like, oh, she wanted to be the main star, didn't want Will Smith, the up and coming rising star, and they got her blacklisted from a lot of jobs because of that. She got fucking done.
Shit.
She was blacklisted from the industry for like 15 years.
Because a lot of stuff.
Yeah, because people were just making rumors about like she was just saying, "Hey, we had a vision when we first started this, and I think we should focus on the family," which they did in the end anyway. Like they start off with Will, and then he becomes the favorite, but obviously it starts branching off in the later seasons, and it goes back to like focus on all the family members, not just Will. Like sure, Will is still the main character, but there's a bunch of episodes with like Carlton at the center or Uncle Phil. She's happening to him.
Ashley, you know.
Yeah,
exactly.
You
so
know,
like the for her to come out and say, "Hey, I just wanted to do that," but then the other people spin it saying, "Oh, you're just jealous of him, this and that." Man, she got done fucking dirty.
I
plus
agree.
She was in a bad place, and she didn't know how to respond to like certain stuff, and that, you know, now we're in a anything.
How old was she when that happened?
Oh shit.
This was, I think she was going through this, like she was going through like a divorce where, like she was very like she was trying her best to keep stuff together. And the fact that like no one on the show really supported her, they just let it happen.
Oh, fuck.
You know what I mean? Because that was the biggest issue. She was like, none of y'all said nothing. Like y'all just, you know, let them get rid of me. And like no one spoke up, no one said anything. And Will himself was like, at the time I was very young. I could have did more.
I mean,
for you.
people discount, or well, I won't say discount. They forget that Will Smith was very young on the Fresh Prince. Like,
he was a baby, man.
Yeah.
Like, what I mean? You got to understand. Like, I'll say one thing. I'll be done. Take it. When you're in a position like very young, you don't have like we grow through experience, right? We go through world, harsh, all those things. One of my Jonathan Todd, who's like the English voice actor, Merrick. He got that role in early 20s, literally early 20s, like just being. And he was like, it was the most I've ever seen in my life. It fucked me up. Didn't do with it, how to even process it. Like I was just partying. It really took like life-changing things for me to be like, yo, I have to look around. You gotta understand, Will wasn't just like, Will was a star. I mean, Wild Wild West with his ass should have did Matrix. Why he did Wild Wild West, the only good thing about that movie is that song with Cisco. But like literally he's done like at that early of an age, man, like there's so much stuff that probably went over his head. So he like, he makes up for it now, and he's still like a great person. He makes up for it now by just no one else reached out to Aunt Vivian before. He was the one who brung her to the show, to the reunion. No one else even knew that she was coming.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Crazy. I hate to cut it off, but I actually do have to go to work now.
Yeah, I realized like we're hitting the mark. We gotta go.
Well, I texted my guy that I'm taking over with. He says, "Take your time. It's okay." But yeah, thank you for joining us, Burger. It was really fun having you
thank
on.
so much.
This is the longest episode of the podcast we've ever done, by the way.
Thank God I don't have to edit this.
Thank God you don't have to edit it. But yeah, if you ever want to come on again, just let me know. We do these WTFs once a month now, and we are going to be streaming them from now on, I think.
I'm telling you, man. When I do these interviews with these hentai voice actors, you on the list.
Shit. I got
Fuck
you.
yeah.
I got you. Yeah, thanks for joining us, and thank you to everyone out there who stopped by to say hi, chat with us in on the Twitch chat. This will be out tomorrow on YouTube for anyone that did miss it. But like I said, thank you all there for dropping in to listen to us. Check the
Thanks
description
for the
below.
subs.
Yes, and thank you for the sub for Natai's friend who keeps fucking with him in chat. So check the description below to find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitch, on social media, on Discord. Check out our merch store, our affiliate links as well. Any purchases you make there do really help us out. With that, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Check out Geeks in the City if you can.
Yeah,
Fuck
boy.
yeah.